Dignified transfer took place at Dover Air Base earlier today in Delaware for the 4 U.S. service members killed in the Middle East this past weekend. President Trump and top Pentagon officials were on hand. Hostilities, meantime, between the U.S. and Iran intensifying for the second week. More from ABC's Louis Martinez.
What we've seen now is essentially a return to daily combat. And it's no longer a situation where Iran waits for the United States to attack. They have been carrying out daylight attacks ahead of any U.S. retaliation. So what we're seeing is a return now to daily hostilities.
President Trump travels to Georgia today to speak at an economic event. The cyclosporiasis outbreak now impacting 41 states. The CDC says there are more than 11,000 cases. Federal testing continues out of an abundance of caution since the source was in 5 states originated in central Mexico. Taylor Farms issuing a voluntary recall. This is ABC News. Tropical storm Bertha expected to make landfall later today in southeastern Louisiana. It's weakening a bit, but still packed with powerful winds and heavy rain. ABC's Ginger Z is tracking the storm.
It's really those parishes south of New Orleans by 4 p.m. this afternoon for those gusts up to 40 miles per hour. And then it goes to barely anything by the time it gets to Texas because it really dies out. So it remains a tropical storm, makes landfall later this afternoon or tonight, then hugs just south of Lake Charles before just becoming a low pressure system into Texas this weekend.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott ordering state agencies to investigate advertising birth tourism. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
So-called birth tourism involves women traveling to the United States in order to give birth to a child who is automatically a U.S. citizen. Governor Greg Abbott says 2 Texas hospitals were advertising birth packages in Mexico. He calls that an abuse of immigration laws, adding that, quote, U.S. citizenship is not for sale.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
A local attorney sues President Trump. More on that coming up. But first, a check on that KIRO Newsradio traffic. Brought to you by your Seattle Mariners. Already a tough go trying to get into downtown Seattle from the north end. South 5 jam-packed from 130th and Northgate across the Ship Canal Bridge. And then things thin out for you. Linwood to Seattle taking you 50 minutes. That's double the norm for this time of day. Alternate routes include State Route 99 or State Route 522 or even 405. I will say, though, South 405 is slow between Alderwood and Bothell, and then more scattered slowing through Totem Lake and Kirkland. Linwood to Bellevue, 45 minutes, a 25-minute delay here. North 5 in Seattle scattered slowing from the north end of Boeing Field to the Ship Canal Bridge, about 20 minutes to clear all this. Your Storm have a nooner today at Climate Pledge Arena, and the Mariners a 12:40 game today at T-Mobile Park. Don't miss the biggest event of the year at T-Mobile Park 50 Season Celebration Night on August 8th, presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. The recently fired U.S. Attorney in the Western District of Washington is now suing President Trump and acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche. Roger Rogoff's lawsuit claims his firing was unconstitutional, while President Trump says he has the power to fire any U.S. attorney he wants. Former State Attorney General Rob McKenna says the suit might result in a stalemate because both sides are right.
We have a standoff here, sort of 3 corners, right? You got the courts, you got the president, and you've got the legislative branch. So all 3 branches of government are mixed up in this.
The U.S. Senate typically confirms U.S. attorneys, but in Rogoff's case, a federal district judge appointed him on an interim basis to fill a vacancy. McKenna says some public defense attorneys are arguing cases against their clients have to be dismissed because there is no active U.S. attorney. A logging company warehouse caught fire just east of Arlington Airport early this morning. The company, known as Stella Jones, is located near 188th Northeast and 64th Avenue. No one was hurt. The city of Arlington posted on social media that the use of fire hydrants increases water flow through the city's water mains, and that can loosen sediment and cause tap water to become discolored. And city has asked residents to avoid using their water for a couple more hours to allow that sediment to settle in the lines. A new independent review commissioned by the Gates Foundation finds Bill Gates was repeatedly warned about the reputational risks of meeting with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. But KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports he continued the relationship for years.
More than 50 former and current employees told investigators staff repeatedly warned Bill Gates and other top leaders about Epstein after Epstein's 2008 child sex conviction. But Gates and his foundation staff met with Epstein anyway, about 30 times between 2011 and 2014 at Epstein's Epstein's home in Manhattan and the foundation in Seattle, shedding new light when Gates was asked about lessons learned on PBS NewsHour several years ago.
Well, he's dead, so, in general, you always have to be careful.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
The review found no evidence Gates or foundation staff participated in or knew about Epstein's sex trafficking operation. Luke will join Jake and Spike here in about a half hour to discuss this in further detail. After a week on the run, Amber Alert suspect Matthew Sussmilch has surrendered. KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gashard reports.
Kennewick police say the 41-year-old turned himself into the city's Department of Corrections office Tuesday afternoon. Sussmilch is accused of kidnapping his 4-year-old daughter Grace last Saturday, prompting an Amber Alert before she was found safe in Pasco. He now faces charges including first-degree kidnapping, domestic violence assault, and felony harassment. Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your KIRO News Radio weather, mostly sunny. A few clouds will pop up throughout the day. A hot one, though, with a high of 94. The record is 96. Tomorrow will cool down to 79 with isolated thunderstorms. 80 Friday, and then low to mid-70s this weekend. Sunny and 80 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday to everybody out there. I'm Jake Skorheim, sitting alongside Spike O'Neill.
Happy Wednesday, brother.
Happy hottest day of the year.
Day of the year. Hats off to the working man out there on the streets today. We live a very, I don't want to downplay the importance of what we do, but I don't have to work outside.
You can downplay it.
I don't have to work outside, man. I don't have to drive a shovel, swing a hammer, drive a truck.
You've probably done those jobs. I've done those jobs.
I have in a very limited capacity.
Oh, okay.
But the man or woman that works every day, keeping the city moving, keeping the economy rolling, that's outside in this sun today, hauling tar paper up onto a roof, shingling, whatever they may be doing.
Yeah, roofing would be tough on a day
like
this.
Like this, man.
Pretty warm.
We have a fence guy coming around. We're helping put up a new fence in our house. 8:01, he was out there this morning.
You got to get the stuff. You got to get the hard stuff done early.
Exactly. And I brought him out some cool drinks for I said, guys, I understand they want to be done by 11:30 today.
Sure.
At least today's portion of the project.
Did you give him the Morgan Freeman speech from?
No.
Or was it Morgan Freeman? Or was it? It wasn't.
It was Andy.
That was Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Andy got him the bucket of suds.
Feels more like a man.
He's got a buck when he's having a cold suds.
Yeah.
Bottle of suds. Oh,
it's hot. People are very warm. I was actually outside just before the show, just because you're living life. Life is fast, and you're constantly doing stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
I actually was seeking to get outside for a few minutes because I'm trying to remind myself that as crazy as the weather is right now and as hot as it feels, most of the year we don't get this. I was talking with somebody earlier, and we were both kind of saying like, yeah, it's hot, but it's usually pretty crappy cold weather around here. And when we get nice hot weather, we shouldn't shake a stick at it.
Yeah, exactly. We should
try to relish it a little bit.
Put it in perspective.
I just went outside and I just stared up. I didn't stare. My eyes were closed. But did you ever do that thing where you kind of charge up in the sun?
Absolutely.
That's a real thing.
Absolutely.
It really works.
Yes, you bet. We're run on energy.
We're like solar.
Yes.
And I just powered up my batteries, and I'm ready to go for the show.
You are green energy, buddy.
I'm totally green. I'm wearing a green shirt today.
Are so smart.
I love the hot weather. I do really like the hot weather. I don't mind it at all, but I do not love the humidity. I could do without the humidity.
It's funny. I was raised in the Mid-Atlantic, which is a very, very humid region of the country.
Yeah, you were saying yesterday it's like a swamp.
It is a swamp because when you look back at geological, historical, models that they make, they don't know. They weren't here. But the entirety of the Mid-Atlantic seaboard from West Virginia, Pennsylvania, down into Virginia was all underwater at one point. And now it's just a hot, muggy,
it's very
swampy type of place.
Yeah.
I'm used to walking outside and having the weather just drip from you. But I'll say that living here for the better part of nearly 40 years, I've deacclimated to that. I don't handle the humidity as well as I used to. I know because when I go back to visit family on the East Coast, I am just destroyed by the humidity.
Yeah.
I mean, it saps you. It's
Is that why they call D.C. the swamp? Because it used to be an actual swamp? Or is it just because all the creatures who live there?
Little of both.
Okay.
Little of both.
It makes sense.
It really does, and it's accurate. And
Either way you want to describe it, whatever the origin is, both of those make sense. All right, we have a lot of stuff to get to today. We have a very interesting guest. We're going to try to solve a crime. You and I have a pretty good track record of solving crimes, especially related to missing farm animals. So we thought we'd take another swing at that.
It's been a while since we had the opportunity to help.
Yeah, we have the opportunity. You can help us as well. So at 2 o'clock, tune in. We're going to talk to, we have a guest coming on, and we're going to try to solve the case of, what is it this time? It was mini donkeys last time. Is it pigs?
The swiped swine. Case of the swiped swine.
Case of the swiped swine.
Right.
Jake
Someone
and
lost
Spike
a deer.
solved the case.
Someone has lost a deer pet. Dare I say maybe even family member?
Yeah.
And it's an interesting story, and I think we may be able to help.
We're gonna help find it. Perfect. All right, we got that and so much more today. Let's kick things off. I saw this story in the Seattle Times. I was grabbed by the headline because I thought it was so cool what they did. So in the lead up to the World Cup, which we're now on the aftermath of, but in the lead up to the World Cup, there was apparently an operation, and I love, if I had to sit down and just choose one type of movie to watch or a TV series to watch. Did you watch The Wire? Speaking of DC,
of course,
yeah.
I drove through that. I drove through that neighborhood every night.
Did you really?
I did. They filmed The Wire in the South Central section of Baltimore City, the project section. They filmed it there because they didn't have to build any sets. It was genuinely that bad. I worked in the downtown. They're equivalent to Pioneer Square.
Yeah.
Right? I was tending bar down there, and every night at 3 o'clock in the morning, I would drive home through that neighborhood.
And they'd be filming?
Well, you
didn't see them filming, but that's where they filmed.
That's where they filmed. What I saw was the people who were just living their lives waiting to be extras in The Wire.
Yes.
They were already there, waiting on the sidewalk at 3 in the morning.
So if you have not seen that show, The Wire is basically, it's about some law enforcement who it's undercover.
Yeah.
They're all the behind the scenes stuff. It's all of the stuff where they'll put a wire on somebody.
Yeah.
And then they follow that. They're collecting evidence, and they're spending all their day in a hot back room as they're listening to somebody trying to build a case. And it's really fascinating. It's a really good show.
Really well done.
It's really, really well done. It's it's a very, very popular show. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's very old now. But anyway, I love procedurals like that. I love watching those types of shows. So when I saw that there was something like that just recently happened in Washington, Seattle, I was like, oh, this is cool. It was called Operation Red Card, and this is kind of neat. So this is in April. You have local law enforcement, so that would be like, King County, that would be Seattle Police, the local FBI field office.
No, I mean, it's my understanding, I read the story today, and I think it was all World Cup cities were part of Operation Red Card, right? They were trying to clean up and make the community safer around World Cup host cities.
That makes sense.
If
although
I'm not mistaken.
I just saw this was the Seattle-centric version of that story, but that makes sense.
Yeah, and the reason they caught my attention was because resources were made available to Seattle and all other host cities in preparation for the World Cup. And this interagency Operation Red Card.
Are you sure this was in all cities? I thought this was just in. I mean, I don't really know that it matters too much, but continue.
Maybe
I thought it was just Seattle-centric.
The way I'm reading this, along with 10 other U.S. host cities played it. Maybe that's just saying that we were one of 11 cities that hosted. I guess the point I'm trying to get to here, and because I saw this story and I was thrilled. I too love this kind of intrigue-based, real-life crime-solving police operations. The dirty, getting your hands dirty work it takes to make us safe and get criminals and bad guys off the streets.
Yeah.
But there was federal resources and agencies working with local agencies to make this operation
I see what you're
happen.
getting at. I'm going to head you off.
Go ahead.
I'm going to head you off because you're going to make the argument that the only reason they accomplished this is because they had extra money that they don't have normally.
Well,
is that right?
I'm going to get there. Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, yeah.
I think that's wrong.
Okay.
Here's why.
Cool.
What they're setting up here, what they're saying here at the beginning of the Seattle Times article, and I've written a piece about this. You can check it out on mynorthwest.com. They're saying that Seattle was part of, along with 10 other host cities, we hosted all these fans and teams. Mm-hmm. And in Seattle, as part of their efforts to make the Seattle streets safe, they put together a list of known offenders. And they called it Operation Red Card. I could be totally wrong about that. That's my take on this. But anyway, they put together a list of known offenders. And in April, they went and they found those known offenders, and they arrested 17 of them. And in the process, they also collected 12 guns that had been many of them modified into fully automatic weapons, very dangerous. And then aside from that, as a sidetrack, the DEA during this same time period was working to clear fentanyl off the streets, and they pulled nearly 3 million lethal doses off of Seattle streets. So all of that is to say, I like all the backstory stuff. I like that they did all of this investigation. I like that they built cases. The Seattle Times talks about it a little bit. They says it was just in April, before the first players strode onto the pitch, a group of local, state, and federal law enforcement officers, so that'd be the Seattle FBI office, got together and compiled a list of people who were either wanted on warrants for for violent crimes, or who police had identified as suspects in yet to be charged violent crimes. And then they talked to the local field office FBI people and also other local partnering agencies, and they said, we want to get these people off the streets to make the people in Seattle and the tourists coming into Seattle feel safer for the games.
Yes.
Have you gotten to the bottom of whether or not it's a national thing?
Several host cities took part in Operation Red Card, but not all.
Okay.
Kansas City took part. Miami took part. Atlanta took part. Seattle took part.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to do some more research on the fly here as to what cities did and did not. But it was a multi-city, multi-agency operation.
But the numbers we're talking about are just Seattle
Just Seattle's
specific.
numbers, yeah.
So they end up getting 17 people arrested. 2 people are then extradited to Colorado and California. They get 12 weapons off the street that some of them are fully automatic, super dangerous. Almost 3 million lethal doses of fentanyl. Yeah. Great. It's fantastic. Makes me feel like I'm watching The Wire. I'm very excited about all this. And then I start scratching my head. I'm like, why did it take the World Cup for them to do this? If they know who the list is, they put the and here's the other thing that's interesting in the article. They talk about how they didn't suspect these people were going to do anything negative during the World Cup. It's not like they said, hey, we're worried there's going to be a mass attack or something on some event. They just said, because these are bad actors and because we know who they are, why don't we go ahead and get these guys off the street just to be safe, just to make everybody breathe a sigh of relief. And then it leads me to ask the question, why did it take the World Cup to do this? And I think the question is an easy one to answer, and that they felt like, well, you know what, we're going to have the national spotlight on us. Let's go ahead and just make sure that there's no issues. I think we can now hold them to this standard. I think we can say, hey, if you guys know that there's a list of people who are wanted by law enforcement and who have 2.7 million, different, there's some drug arrests that were made, all these different things. If you know who these people are and it took the World Cup to get you off your butts to arrest them, you have our permission. You don't need the World Cup anymore. Just go and get people like this.
Yeah, agreed. And you kind of saw where I was going with this, but there were federal resources available to the city of Seattle and those other World Cup host cities.
Well,
federal grant money came into the city and the region in preparation for World Cup announcements.
Okay.
The World Cup amounted to an investment in law enforcement and expanded and solidified partnerships with cross agencies.
Okay.
So there was additional resources. And again, well, let me finish my thought here.
Okay.
I get that you're being the host city for the World Cup. The whole world is watching. You clean up every city that you're going to have people coming into. We'll find out.
Yeah, you vacuum the stairs when guests come over.
Yeah, exactly. So this is federal money that came in to help bolster local efforts from local agencies, working in conjunction with federal resources from the DEA, from the FBI, all these different agencies.
Who are already here, by the way.
But additional people came in. A lot of additional people and resources came into the host cities.
Okay.
That allowed them to make these. To your point about if they already knew who these guys were, why weren't they grabbed in the first place? I'm with you there.
Yeah.
If it's federal money coming in, aren't our cities worth of federal investment? Shouldn't this money always be available? Shouldn't this grant money, not just for World Cup, shouldn't this grant money?
That's fine. That's fine. I'm fine with the federal money. Give them extra money to do this kind of thing. But they don't need it. They don't need it.
Well, they do because...
Are they underfunded? Is Seattle Police underfunded?
Yes. Oftentimes we hear that federal... I know that there's a manpower shortage.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to expand enrollment, training, putting more officers on the street.
Yeah.
The more resources you have, whether it's money or manpower, everything stems from money. More agency involvement with federal agencies, put some more feds in the ground here on a regular basis, on a constant basis. I'm just saying, if you can find the federal resources to clean up host cities before a World Cup comes, you can find federal resources to clean up every city in America all the time because we're the ones. This is our money. This is our tax dollars.
Here's where I would push back on that.
Sure.
Because it kind of takes the onus away from local authorities doing what they should be doing already, and it makes them say, well, we can only do this when the federal government gives us permission and the money to do it, which I don't believe. I fundamentally disagree with that.
Well, that's fair. I'd like to speak to the sheriff King County Sheriff, Seattle Police Chief, to find out, do you feel you're adequately funded? Could you use more resources, more funding? It's not just a matter of personnel.
I don't even think it's a funding issue.
Well, okay. That's fair.
They knew who the people were. Go and arrest them.
Yeah, but if
they're already wanted, go and arrest them.
No, I hear you. Bud. I hear you.
So why wait for the feds?
That's a great. I don't think they should either. I think these people, if they knew who these guys were, but here's because I'm reading this story and there's so many questions pop in my mind. If you suspect someone of being a violent criminal, that's not enough to arrest them. That's the thing. They pulled these guys off the streets for World Cup.
Yeah, many of them already had warrants for their arrest.
Okay,
yeah,
so then they just weren't going to get them.
Yes.
The outstanding warrants.
Which is my point.
Yeah.
You know who these people are. They're already wanted for violent crimes. Many of them have guns that have been made into illegal firearms, which is a federal felony.
Yes.
You have all these reasons to go and get them. You have 2.7 million pounds of lethal doses of fentanyl that you find magically. Just, where this stuff is. Why aren't they doing this ahead of time? I mean, they did this ahead of time.
That's the question we should be
Why aren't
asking.
they doing this all the time?
Why did it take World Cup?
Yes.
I know. I'm with you.
We should hold them to this expectation all the time. I'm glad that they went and did it. If they got a couple extra federal bucks to do it, then that's fine. But they should not use that as an excuse going forward. So I disagree with that part of it. They should just do it because they know who the people are. And they should make it safe for people all the time, not just because there's tourists coming into town, but because they want people to thrive in a city like Seattle and to not be scared to go walk down the street.
I'm with you. I'm so with you. We've talked about there should be a full-time ferry staffing. Not just when World Cup comes to town, right?
Yeah.
There should be cameras, safety surveillance cameras, keeping the city safe.
Not
just when World Cup comes down. You should be rounding up bad guys are bad guys all the time.
Yes.
We're
If the state has $80 billion to spend and they're not prioritizing, they only made 17 arrests. It's not like they even did a ton of arrests. 17 arrests is not massive. It does not require the federal government. You could just go out and arrest 17 people who already have warrants for violent crimes. I would be totally okay with that. But extra funding, great. But still do it. Like, even if you don't get the extra funding, I would just hope that they would want to keep the streets clean and safe because that's their job to do that thing.
It's not just for the visitors.
Yeah.
Because it's our money. We're the ones paying the bill.
It seems extra offensive to me that they only do it when the visitors are in town.
I'm with you. And I understand your investment in it's a promotional opportunity for the city. I understand the reason that you clean up, you cover graffiti, you put in portable toilets because visitors are coming and you're trying to promote future visitors. The tourist industry in Seattle is a major economic driver. I get all that.
Perfect example, the toilets. The argument that they don't have money to do things, but they have $500,000 to spend on 4 portable toilets tells you everything that you need to know about how the way that our local government works. They don't prioritize the things that matter. If you were to go and ask the average person, I will right now, actually. We're going to do a different question of the day. We'll make this the question of the day. Do you think that the city should wait for funding? Should Washington wait for federal funding before they go out and make these arrests? Or, this is our question today for the audience, what would you rather have? 4 portable toilets for $500,000 or violent criminals who are changing guns into fully automatic weapons off the streets? And you tell me where you think you are on this one. I'm interested in your take on this. It's a totally different question of the day, but we ran out of time, so we're just going to have to do it. All right. We got a lot of stuff coming up.
We see this great news that they round up all these criminals and they got all these guns off the street and they had 2 million pounds of fentanyl, whatever it was, pounds of fentanyl.
Yeah.
And
2.7 lethal dose. 2.7
million lethal doses of fentanyl, not pounds. I apologize. Lethal dose of fentanyl.
It's probably only like a half a pound, but whatever.
Are we looking at the cell half empty or the cell half full? You know what I'm saying? This is good news. This is good news.
I'm happy they did it.
Yeah.
I'm not happy that they're saying the only time we're going to do this type of thing is when the World Cup comes to town.
Yeah, and on
guess what?
That we're both frustrated.
That's once every 2 decades.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right. We got a lot more coming up. Should we talk to Luke Ducey next?
Yes, we should.
This Bill Gates story, this Gates Foundation story, and all of these meetups with Epstein and all the people at the Gates Foundation who seem to see the writing on the wall with Epstein, and somehow that didn't make its way up to management, that maybe meeting with Epstein was a bad idea. It's a fascinating story. And Luke Ducey's covering it. He has all the details. We're going to give you some of that when we come back. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Sunset Auto Family.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over... Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and Elder Law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, you're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps. Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way August 1st, Puyallup on the 4th, Tacoma on the 6th, or Bellevue August 8th. Space is limited, so sign up today at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh, no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Hi, how can I help?
Well, my husband and I feel like we've outgrown our current money manager.
I see.
Our lives have changed, and we need something more than just mutual funds to help us in retirement.
She's right.
I hear that often. At Fisher Investments, we'd start by getting to know you, your finances, family, health, lifestyle. We tailor a portfolio around your goals and needs.
Sounds good.
Can you help with estate planning?
Yes. We have a team of specialists who can help you with estate planning, Social Security, investment income, and more. We'll get to know your whole financial picture and help keep you on the path to a comfortable retirement.
And your fees?
We have a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
I feel better already.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we are meant to live free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if the natural effects of aging are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from aging. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic has been treating the undesirable effects of aging for nearly 30 years. They have more clinical experience with actual patient care than any longevity practice in the country. I've been a patient for 17 years. Wow, time flies when you got a lot of energy. I don't know where I'd be today without longevity. Longevity Medical Clinic was started so people can get back to living life on their own terms, walking, working, exercising, and enjoying the moments that matter most. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can be financially draining too. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare so patients can focus on healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $3 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. and you can make a direct impact. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel and Spa in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of hope and inspiration, celebrating local cancer survivors. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. If your air conditioner is barely hanging on, CM Heating has one of the best offers I've heard this summer. Right now, you can get any size high-efficiency AC system for just $179.99 a month with zero upfront cost. And here's the game changer. CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program includes lifetime repairs, annual maintenance, and even filters at no additional charge ever. Go to cmheating.com and schedule your free estimate online today.
License number CMHEAHL 751LW.
Hey, buying a used car can be stressful. Sunset Auto Family takes that stress away with a 48-hour used vehicle exchange policy. You pick it out, you drive it for a couple days. If it's not the right fit, they'll help you find one that is. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. The Clark County Sheriff's Office is reviewing alleged misuse of body-worn camera mute functions in the death investigation of motorist Mark Fogel. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
54-year-old Mark Fogel was in the custody of the Clark County Sheriff's Office and in an interview room for a DUI investigation in May of last year. The deputy reported being in an active struggle with Fogel, who was allegedly trying to take his firearm. Attorneys for the Fogel family say deputies repeatedly muted their audio at critical moments after Fogel was fatally stabbed 17 times. Attorney Mark Lindquist represents the family.
Watching the video is almost comical. Every time something critical is about to be said, they hit the mute button.
Lindquist says he asked for the review in anticipation of a lawsuit. We've reached out to the Clark County Sheriff's Office, but so far have not heard back. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
After years of anticipation, Winco Foods is finally opening in its Renton store. The doors open at 9 a.m. August 3rd at the Landing inside the former Fry's Electronics building. The project moves ahead after a coalition called Lake Washington Working Families challenged the development last year over traffic and environmental concerns. Authorities are investigating a heartbreaking vehicle fire that claimed the life of a 5-month-old baby near Tumwater Tuesday. KIRO 7 TV's Nia Bliss reports.
The father briefly went back inside the home as 3 children were left in a running truck. They say when smoke started filling the vehicle, the 12-year-old child was able to grab the 2-year-old and run back to the father. By the time they came back, the truck was completely on fire, and a 5-month-old infant was still strapped in its car seat.
And I saw the truck on fire, but I saw people trying to take control of the fire.
Investigators say the father and neighbors jumped in to try to put out the fire and rescue the infant, with several getting burned themselves, but the baby did not survive.
The Thurston County Sheriff's Office is working with the ATF to investigate the cause of that fire. Hot weather is drawing more people to local beaches, but experts warn Washington's waters can still be deadly. Dr. Beth Ebel with UW Medicine tells KIRO 7 a drowning can happen in a flash.
Sometimes I think people think from movies that drowning is a noisy, splashy affair, and it isn't. It is quiet and silent, and it just quietly happens.
Cold water, swift currents, and hidden hazards increase the risk of drowning this time of year. Officials urge everyone to wear a life jacket and keep children within arm's reach near the water. Quick check on Wall Street. The Dow down 13, S&P 500 down 6, and the NASDAQ down 100. Your KIRO News Radio traffic brought to you by Subaru Puyallup. South 5 are jammed up at 130th and Northgate all the way into downtown. That trip from Linwood to Seattle is taking you 40 minutes. That's a 20-minute delay. Southbound 99 is now bumper to bumper from South Lake Union to the stadiums. North 5 are going to get a little crowded at the West Seattle Bridge just past I-90, and then another bumper-to-bumper backup between Mercer and the Ship Canal Bridge. South 405, you're slow through Bothell, and then scattered slowing from Bellevue all the way into Renton. Alderwood to South Center will take you 55 minutes on 405, and South 5 heading into Fife for heavy from Wild Waves through the Fife Curve. People say the little things are why they choose Subaru of Puyallup. For all the little reasons, visit SubaruPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership, part of the Harnish Auto family. A heat advisory in effect through 11 p.m. with very hot temperatures across the region. 94 for Seattle. A much cooler day tomorrow with a high closer to 80 and isolated thunderstorms. Mid-70s through the weekend. Mostly sunny and 82 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. We're very happy to welcome on right now Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio reporter. Luke, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit about the Gates Foundation. We're going to talk about the Gates Foundation in relation to Jeffrey Epstein, which nobody in the world wants to have any association with Jeffrey Epstein. And yet, the Gates Foundation, according to the story, there was quite a bit of meetings that happened between the Gates Foundation and Epstein, so much so that there was Gates Foundation employees who were like, hey, guys, you might want to pump the brakes. Do you know who you're meeting with? Tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
Yeah, so this was kind of born out of, remember, back in February, Bill Gates spoke to employees at the foundation. And during that meeting, he apologized for having affairs with 2 Russian women while married to his now ex-wife, Melinda French Gates. He also apologized for his connections to Epstein. Well, it was at that moment that the Gates Foundation then commissioned a new independent review of what happened in their connection with Epstein and Gates's connection with Epstein. A law firm interviewed more than 50 former and current employees. It found staff repeatedly warned Bill Gates, like you mentioned, and other top leaders about the reputational risks of hanging out with Epstein after Epstein was convicted for a child sex offense back in 2008. It also claims Gates was well aware of those concerns and that Gates and the foundation staff met with Epstein anyway, about 30 times between 2011 and 2014, including at Epstein's home in Manhattan and once at least at the Gates Foundation headquarters right here in Seattle.
Can you guys remember? I'm trying to think when he made his original, that speech, which must have been so awkward. I mean, to think that when he got to the point where he literally had to stand in front of staff or sit or whatever he was doing and make this admission about these 2 affairs that he says that he had. Can you imagine? I mean, we've all been in company meetings. Can you imagine if your boss said, hey, guys, I'd like to sit down and have a quick chat? Like, normally that's bad news for you, but in this case, it's your boss being like, I just feel like I need to disclose to you guys this very awkward thing that's going to come out in the news, and I want to try to get ahead of it a little bit and try to explain to you guys what happened.
Great question. I think it may have been an unspoken, a lot of people probably knew about this.
You're probably right.
30 different meetings between the organization and Epstein's group, not just Epstein, but his periphery as well. That's probably a pretty poorly kept secret among Microsoft employees. Gates goes forth and makes this public statement at a gathering of Microsoft mucky mucks because he knew it was coming out.
Yeah.
The story was going to break. He's trying to get ahead of the story, right?
Wasn't he also heading to testify in front of some committee, from Senate committee? He did investigating this.
Yeah, he did voluntarily gave Senate testimony or investigative testimony to a congressional hearing.
Yeah,
about his involvement and he said, look, I want to be forthright and upfront. If I can give you any information that helps you in your investigation, blah, blah, blah.
Do you remember at the time we were talking about how the excuse that he wasn't really aware of Epstein's past, and this is after 2008, this is after Epstein's plea deal.
Yeah.
He talked about, am I wrong about that? Or was he talking about not really being aware of his past, and that was kind of the excuse for why he was willing to have these meetings, because he didn't really know what all that was about? Is that right, Luke?
He pled ignorance.
Yeah, he did. He did way back then. And then flash forward to, just in front of Congress not too long ago, it was last month, in fact, Bill Gates said and told members of Congress that he believed Epstein may have been planning to blackmail him, learning about his extramarital activity. And so the information was out there. I've heard different theories about why he got in front of the Gates Foundation employees, and that's from everything from maybe the information was out there and it was going to come out to get ahead of the story, but I've also heard theories, unsubstantiated, that maybe part of the terms of the divorce or the marriage agreement was that required to disclose certain things in order to separate. And I say that because earlier this year, remember, and this is about around the same time, Melinda French Gates said this on NPR.
So whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me.
Yeah, that was in February.
Made a separation, right.
Yeah.
Can you take off your reporter hat for just
Sure.
a minute, Luke? And can you put on your PR hat?
Yeah.
What's happening here? That we have now this was inspired by an internal investigation, which I assume
External investigation, you mean? From Microsoft. Because they hired an external...
No, the Gates Foundation.
Gates Foundation.
Oh,
Gates
the Gates
Foundation.
Foundation. I'm sorry, Gates Foundation.
But Gates Foundation, this is an internal Gates Foundation initiative by hiring an outside firm to do the investigation.
Right, commissioned internally for an external law firm to come in and look.
So here's my question to you, in a PR perspective.
Sure.
That's not great news. The number 30 is striking. That's a lot of meetings with somebody that you claim to not know much about, and to still have 30 meetings with somebody like that, on top of the affair information, on top of the divorce from his wife, all these different things. Are they scrambling right now? Because we now know that, like, Warren Buffett recently has said, like, hey, I'm not going to give any more. I'm pumping the brakes on all my donations to the Gates Foundation. I think he was giving something like $6 billion a year. Was that right?
A lot of money.
Or $6 billion.
And said he's not going to give this time.
And Buffett made a point of saying this has nothing to do with the association with Epstein.
No.
Yes, he did.
I think he said it has.
No.
I think it's because...
I read it again this morning. He did say it had nothing to do with that, but
it had nothing to do with Epstein?
With the Epstein connection.
Then why did he stop the
like
donations?
Well, that's a good question.
These people think we're idiots.
And is that the truth? Who knows?
Buffett said, we from time to time decide to help other organizations.
Sure.
It's not saying we won't be going back to helping the Gates Foundation in future. This cycle, we're choosing not to, as we have for many, many years, giving Gates all this buckets of money. That's got nothing to do with 30 meetings with a pervert.
Okay, yeah. I got a bridge to sell you. This is my recollection of Buffett is that long ago when he and Gates were like, because Gates was Buffett's mentee, right? Wasn't Warren Buffett like Gates' mentor essentially way back in the day?
Probably, yeah.
They were very close, I think, at least.
Yeah.
Didn't Buffett commit to leaving a ton of his fortune to the Gates Foundation?
Yeah, and Gates committed to spending all of his money to leaving it all.
Yes, through this foundation. Yeah. What I'm saying is now that Buffett is he's saying like, well, from time to time we do an assessment, we decide to no longer, but it's not related to Epstein. Come on, you guys believe that for a second?
Well, to answer your question a little bit from a PR perspective, let's add this in here too. So the recent investigation found they claim no evidence Gates or the foundation staff participated or knew about Epstein's sex trafficking operation. It also found no evidence Epstein was ever paid by the foundation. So they just found no evidence of it. Doesn't mean it didn't exist or the knowledge didn't exist.
We just didn't find it.
Right.
Our internal investigation didn't find it.
And apparently the review by the law firm only focused on the foundation's dealings with Epstein, not Gates's personal relationship with Epstein. So if there was a personal relationship, and Gates has said in the past that he has had dinners with Epstein.
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead. So, in general, you always have to be careful.
Very awkward. That was from 4 years ago on PBS NewsHour. I know, very awkward on PBS NewsHour. But I think because of that, the Gates Foundation, they have to do this review. From a PR lens, from a PR focus,
absolutely.
You've got to do this to come up with
you want to
answers
disassociate yourself.
Absolutely.
Yes, I understand that.
Absolutely.
I understand that.
On the other people, Gates and especially Melinda French Gates, I got to tell you that the Gates Foundation has some of the best PR folks in the world.
Yes.
I'm not just. It's not just.
No, you're right.
Not in the country, in the world. And so does Melinda French Gates. She has some of the best. Nothing that comes out of their mouth publicly comes out
it's not
extemporaneously. No,
yeah, no, it's research. It's vetted.
It is.
It's focus group tested.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
calculated. It's pressure tested. Everything.
Gates always maintained his only reason to have any association with Epstein at all was trying to get money for his foundation. And he's always said that. I met with this guy because Epstein promised.
Do you believe him?
Yes, I do. I don't believe that he was oblivious to what Epstein was up to. I don't believe that.
As the email suggests, that he sought advice on Epstein on how to slip drugs that he may have to his wife that he may have passed an STD?
I can't begin to speculate on that.
No, I'm asking you. Like, do you have no clue? No. Even his wife was asked the question.
I can't answer those, obviously, but I think those are still, all of it is, they're valid. Those are valid questions that you may never get an answer to, but they're valid questions.
Here's what I know about Gates. I don't know a ton about the guy, but he doesn't seem to me to be the type of person who's not well-versed on whatever it is that he's focused on. I saw a documentary about him one time where he literally just carries around a bag of stuff he's interested in, and so every spare second that he has, he can spend reading, whether it's about nuclear power or whether it's about pine nuts. I don't know what the guy's interested in. So the idea that you have 30 meetings with an Epstein type and you're unaware of allegations or past plea deals of that guy.
Well, they were aware, according to the review.
Yeah. So that Gates was unaware of these things, Spike. that strains credulity.
That's what he claims.
It's what he claims.
But the review
But
obviously.
you said that you don't think he has. You don't think he knew. I'm just saying
about the allegations. No, I think he kept the association going so he could try to get money for his foundation, is what I'd said, and I still believe that to be true. But I think if you're ignorant of all that, you're willfully ignorant. You choose not to figure it out.
That's okay. Okay, that's fair. All right, Luke Ducey, thanks for coming in. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over.
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
If your family is in a position to look at assisted living, senior living, memory care, do yourself a favor and check out Aegis Living. Voted best of Western Washington through its neighbors last year, and voted nationally of 60,000 communities nationwide. Aegis ranked #1 in senior living in all of America for 2025. That's from Seniorly Magazine, an expert in the field. Go today to agesliving.com and schedule yourself a visit. Check it out. When you see it, you'll say, this must be the place, because it truly is. agesliving.com.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more. I just took a COVID test. Ugh. Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh, no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Jason Rantz here with Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. Greg, there are a ton of national advertisers offering services similar to yours. Why shouldn't I go with one of them?
National firms are an interesting phenomena, if you will, because I hear from clients that tried them initially, and they tell me these stories that are just really hard to believe, Jason. They'll call, and the person that they're talking to is really a salesperson. They don't really know the tax resolution business at all. They're trying to make a sale. And so they overpromise, and they'll hook them with a very low initial fee. Then when that case starts moving down the road, all of a sudden the person's getting a phone call. Oh, you need to pay us thousands of dollars to get this thing done. And they tell me sometimes it never gets done.
So it's a tax resolution scheme without any of the resolution.
I really believe part of it is.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn with None Better Tax Resolution. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1490. That's 800-822-1490. 800-822-1490.
All right, I'm very excited to be speaking with Phil Mitchell. He is a new advertiser on the show. He owns Sunset Auto Family. Phil, welcome.
Thanks, Jake.
I want to talk about something that I cannot stress enough, how valuable this is for anybody who's looking for a car. You guys do oil changes for life. What does that mean?
Well, basically, it means if you buy a car that qualifies for oil changes for life, we're going to give you 5 oil changes a year. And they're about $150 now. You know, oil goes up and down, but guess what? We're going to change the oil for as long as you own that vehicle on us.
Like you're saying, oil changes are $150. They're even more if you're driving a diesel. And so you hold on to a vehicle for 10 years, that's like $10,000.
Oh, it can be even more than that. We've got a guy that's been changing his oil since 1985. He's gotten more oil changes than the car cost, and we're still changing it for him because that's what we do. We're your lifetime dealer.
And this is what people are going to get at Sunset Auto Family.
That's right. Great service for as long as you own the vehicle.
Oil changes for life. Only at Sunset Kia in Auburn, Sunset Ford, and Sunset Chevrolet in Sumner. You just get more at Sunset. And people do like that.
The Black Crowes, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Sunday, August 30th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
Insulation rebates from PSE are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSE insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSE trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl. The heroes you call.
All right, welcome back to the show. We got some good updates here. This is a good bit of audio. You're going to like it. You guys remember the guy who got attacked by a bison in Yellowstone?
Of course.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. He's still in the hospital, by the way, in
yeah.
Bozeman. He's like still healing up. He had some broken bones.
4 breaks in his femur up near his hip.
Oh.
He's got a long recovery coming. He's already up and walking around the hospital as it's all looking good, but it's a long road.
That's a tough one to heal because there's really not a lot besides just like taking it easy that you can do. It's not like they can they reset a femur? I mean, like
you have to. I think he's probably got a rod running through that. I don't want to pry to his personal medical situations, but let me just say, as a guy who's over 60, as is Carl,
sure,
we don't knit up like we used to, buddy.
No,
takes us a long time to get the hitch out of our giddy up.
But I'll tell you what, the height that he was thrown. I think anybody would be in the hospital still.
Oh,
he was like 13 feet in the air.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've shown the video countless times. I mean, he's became super famous. Anyway, somebody finally caught up with him, and this is actually him in his hospital bed talking to was this AP or did AP just posted this?
It's Bozeman Health.
Bozeman.
So
the hospital posted this.
Actual hospital had him do this, and it honestly leaned a little promotional because he's like talking about how great the care has been. And this is the only video and audio.
I know a lot about pudding, and let me tell you.
This is all we have. Every news source is run with this, and it's just a promotional type video put out by Bozeman Health. So there you go.
Let's hear a little bit from Carl McDaniel in his hospital bed.
We saw the bison, and he was down. He wasn't showing aggression or anything like that. They move faster than you could ever imagine.
By the way, for anybody who doesn't know the story, Carl, his grandson, they're in Yellowstone. They're standing there from what looks like a very safe distance. There's a bison doing what bison do. They're just kind of burrowing. He's laying in the ground. At some point, the bison pops up, seems to notice a white truck driving by between Carl, his grandson, and the bison. The truck moves on after the bison has already started going towards the truck. And now it's just Carl and his grandson left there. And so the bison runs at him. Carl and his grandson disappears because he's a child and he's fast.
Carl told his grandson, you run that way, I'll run this way, and I'll distract him. Carl took one for the team.
And he certainly did. So Carl runs around a small grove of trees. He gets around once. The bison chases him. He gets around a second time, but the bison catches up to him the second time and then flings him in the air. Pretty amazing.
It picked a target. That target happened to be me. He just kept coming, and he was more aggressive. And as soon as he got off that tree, he launched me in the air. I didn't get bruises from him launching me in the air. It was the landing that came the problem. Even though I was on the ground, he could have stomped me, he could have gored me, could have done anything.
He doesn't sound like he holds a lot of anger.
I think this is a promotional piece for tourism at Yellowstone.
Check out Yellowstone.
It's the no kinder bison anywhere. He could have tore me a new one, but no.
That's a great question.
He snorted in ownership and moved on.
Do you think this is going to deter people from visiting Yellowstone, or will it encourage them? Is I don't know the bison's name, but some of them actually do have names. They're known locally there. Like we ran into one. We didn't run into one, but there's one in our area when we were there last time. Was known affectionately as Ted.
Okay.
I wonder if this bison has a name.
I'm sure.
Is he their Jimothy? Are they all like? Is he? That's the guy who attacked Carl.
His name is Launch.
That's Launch. He attacked Carl. You think people are going and seeing him? I bet you they are.
They may be. It's a promotional piece for Montana. Bozeman Health.
Yeah.
Good on them. No better care anywhere.
Right outside the West Yellowstone entrance gates.
Conveniently located.
Yeah. Check it out.
We got to get this guy.
We got to get him. Yeah, we'll get him. All right. We got a lot more coming up. We got the 1 o'clock rundown next. Top stories coast to coast. There's a tropical storm coming in. It's a local story here about a lawsuit against Kalshi, the prediction market, but it's got national implications because if it happens here, will other states follow suit and do the same thing? This is the prediction market stuff. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about, what was the last one? This AI agent stuff. This is crazy. Stick around. We'll be right back.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear G and Ursula.
When it comes to Dutch Bros, Ursula?
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Every time I go south, I pull up on some Dutch Bros. Yeah. My point is this. Starbucks is going to be moving part of their headquarters over to Tennessee, and there's a lot of people like, oh my goodness, Starbucks is going to be going. Don't you worry. There's other coffee places like, hey, y'all have fun. It's almost like the new stepdaddy. That's what Dutch Bros is about to do.
Subscribe to the G and Ursula Show on YouTube and watch live or later.
If you're over 62 and the rising cost of living is putting pressure on your budget, listen carefully. I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. I hear from seniors all the time who love their home, want to stay in it, but are worried about how far their money will go. Property taxes are up, insurance is up, monthly bills keep rising, and some of them still have a mortgage payment. A reverse mortgage could help by eliminating that mortgage payment, paying off debts, and giving you more room in your monthly budget. Now, let me say this, it's not right for everyone, but for the right person, it can make a real difference. When you call Best Mortgage, you work directly with me for a free consultation. I'll explain how it works, answer your questions, and tell you honestly whether it fits your needs. If you're 62 or older and want to learn more about staying in your home with less financial stress, call me today, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
When Dennis suggested retirement planning to his wife, Linda, she had the same reaction lots of people do.
Do we really need it?
Then they attended a free seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayich at LifePoint Law.
He asked me, what do you want? And he truly listened. And at the end of it, it was like, we need to do this.
There are many people on the radio that speak about many things. And when we got here and actually worked with the team that Rajiv has put together, it turns out that it is not just talk, it is action.
And in the worst case,
I said to him, if something happens to Dennis, what would I do exactly? And he said, you pick up the phone and you call Rajiv or you call me. And that right there was like peace of mind.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way on August 1st, Puyallup on the 4th, Tacoma on the 6th, or Bellevue August 8th. Space is limited, so sign up today at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
John Curley here. When the AC starts acting up, don't assume you need a whole new system.
Home Comfort Alliance, their approach is simple. Repair first, replace only if needed. Their techs diagnose the real problem because a simple fix can often get the cooling back up again and not cost you a full replacement. Need something new? Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. That's what we did at the barn. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com. Call the comfort people. homecomfortalliance.com.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. Get a free oil filter and more during the Celebrate Free event at AutoZone, now through July 27th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A New York federal judge set the drug trafficking trial for Venezuela's ousted leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife for June of next year. ABC's Peter Haralambou says Maduro's attorneys are now trying to claim immunity.
The argument here is that he's protected by sovereign immunity as a head of state, that U.S. courts don't have the jurisdiction to try him on criminal offenses. And they've previewed this argument. They're also going to contest the military capture that led to his extradition. And we will see that motion probably sometime in September with oral argument in November. And we'll see how that argument fares. Noriega tried to make the same argument when he was put on trial in the United States. It was rejected because the United States didn't officially recognize him as the head of Panama.
Tropical storm Bertha made landfall this afternoon in St. Bernard Parish, Louisiana. That storm weakening, but expected to rake the coastline as it moves west towards Texas with rainfall. And severe storms could also trigger flooding in parts of North Carolina and Virginia today. This is ABC News. In Northern California, a beloved bald eagle in Big Bear, watched worldwide on a camera feed, has suffered a critical injury.
A bald eagle named Jackie became an online sensation, along with her partner Shadow, as a live webcam has for years caught their nest activities, laying eggs and raising their baby bald eagles. But Jackie disappeared from the nest recently, leaving Shadow with their newest babies. She was found struggling in some water. Experts say she had been in a fight with other eagles. Jackie is at a rescue center now where her condition is said to be critical. The center says she has anemia and inflammation impacting her kidneys. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Last month's heat wave in France led to a surge in deaths. The health ministry says 5,700 more people died than usual during a historic heat wave, with record-shattering temperatures from June 17th to July 2nd. Many areas don't have air conditioning to deal with the heat. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Well, a few beaches remain closed this afternoon around Seattle. Details coming up. For us to check on your traffic, brought to you by Seattle Sports. South 5 at the Convention Center, we've got a collision blocking your left center lane, and this adds to a thick backup starting back in Northgate. Linwood to Seattle, we're back up to 50 minutes. That's a half-hour delay. Southbound 99 is clearing out. We're still packed, though, in that downtown tunnel. North 5, scattered backups now from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. And down in South Center, North 405, just past the West Valley Highway, a collision blocks your right lane, and you're backed up bumper to I-5 South Center to Bellevue right now at 25 minutes. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Just when you wanted to go for a swim today, 3 Lake Washington beaches remain closed because of high levels of bacteria. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman reports Houghton Beach in Kirkland, Mount Baker Beach in Seattle, and Coulon Beach in Renton are all off limits.
The health department is urging people to stay out of the water in those locations
locations, because if you ignore the signs that we have seen at some of these beaches, you could end up paying the consequences. The health department says exposure to this water could cause some serious issues like nausea and vomiting. A cost for staying cool, experts say it's just not worth it.
County health experts say they test most beaches' bacterial levels once a week and report results within 24 hours. Alaska Air Group says high fuel costs played a role in its $76 million second quarter loss. The Seattle Times reports Alaska was forced to cut back on flights in April and May. Before the Iran war broke out, driving up fuel prices, Alaska predicted 2026 would be a profitable year. In its first quarter, Alaska Air reported a loss of $193 million. Seattle City Light customers will pay more starting next year. Tuesday, the City Council unanimously approved back-to-back 9.5% rate increases in 2027 and 2028.
However, even with these rate increases, Seattle still has one of the lowest electrical utility rates of any major city in the United States.
That's City Council member Deborah Juarez. The average residential customer would pay about $10 more a month. The utility says the increases are needed to upgrade aging infrastructure and meet growing demand for electricity. Mount Rainier National Park has released new details about a deadly rock fall last Sunday. The Tacoma News-Tribune reports 6 climbers from 2 independent parties were involved Sunday at about 11,600 feet. 2 climbers suffered minor injuries, 1 was seriously hurt, and 1 died at the scene. Park officials say the investigation continues. Parts of southwest Washington and the west slopes of the Central Cascades will be under a red flag warning starting at 4 today. Dry lightning, gusty winds, and thunderstorms are in the forecast. High temps are in the 90s, and low humidity will increase the risk of new wildfire starts and rapid fire spread. And now let's check that hot weather forecast. Mostly sunny and extremely hot this afternoon, a high of 94. The record's 96. Tomorrow, a cooling trend begins with our high dropping to 79 and isolated showers Thursday. Friday morning starts off cloudy, becoming Sunday sunny and 80, mid-70s through the weekend. Sunny and 84 right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. A lot of stuff to get to. If you're just joining us, welcome to the 1 o'clock rundown. Top stories coast to coast. We look at whatever the biggest stories are across the United States. They could be here locally. If the story originates here, we don't stop it from the getting on the list, but it's really about, like, in America, what are people clicking on? So we have 3 of these for you. We're going to start with something happening on the East Coast or near the East Coast. This is Tropical Storm Bertha, which it's weather events. We've seen this locally here, too. You put up an article on your website about heat or rain or snow or anything. Folks are going to click on it. They like weather-related things. People want to know what's coming, if they can.
And Bertha's making landfall in southern Louisiana, across the Panhandle, from beaches, piers closed from Florida to Louisiana. Now, tropical storm, it's not a hurricane. It's the first major storm of the season, though, Bertha is, to make landfall in the United States. Winds up to 100 miles an hour.
They are saying that it could not see a ton of action on land because
they lose speed.
They lose speed as it gets closer in, and because of the way, I don't know how storms work exactly.
Slow-moving storms over the water gain power and moisture, and that's where the flooding comes from, the heavy rains come from.
Gotcha.
And
this is lopsided somehow.
Yeah, it hasn't really generated, first of all, it hasn't generated enough power, force, energy, the way they measure hurricanes, to become a hurricane itself, which is good.
Okay.
There's not a lot of water in this storm. It's slow-moving, strong winds, rainfalls, but like you said, they don't anticipate a lot of damage.
Which is
a lot
good.
of storm-related damage. Yeah.
Lord knows Louisiana's seen its fair share of hurricane damage.
Absolutely.
They don't need any more of it. Have you seen that documentary on, I'm trying to remember what it's on. It might be Netflix. I don't know. You could look it up. It's on one of the streamers on Katrina. Have you watched, there's a million news pieces that have been done, extended news pieces.
I was in New Orleans 2 weeks before Katrina.
Were you really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. We did a morning show convention in New Orleans.
Tell me what that was like.
I left things, well, 2 weeks before, it's nothing. It's just hot and humid.
Yeah.
It's August in New Orleans, which is why the convention was in New Orleans, because it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
You get cheap hotel rooms in New Orleans in August. But I remember watching the coverage of the actual storm it hit in the aftermath of Katrina, knowing that, when folks were gathered at the convention center, that was the view from my hotel window.
What?
At the Canal Place, the Crown Plaza Canal Place, right there along the river. Right next to the convention center. Right, Harrah's at the other window of our thing. If you look at the other side of the hotel, the quarter was just off in the distance.
Wow.
So I remember I had literally weeks old memories of, I left. It's funny. I left something behind in my hotel room, a Seahawk jersey behind in my hotel room, and I procrastinated a couple of weeks calling the front desk to get it back. Safe to say, they had other things to think about.
You decided
I gave
not
that
to.
up.
Yeah, you're like, you know what?
Yeah, you guys deal
You
with
guys
what
don't
you're
need
dealing
this
with.
stress right now. You've got other stuff.
The documentaries of what hit New Orleans and all of Louisiana.
Yeah, all the levees,
the area, the levee breaks.
Their whole infrastructure,
Ward
their whole system there is really fascinating. I've never been to that part of the country.
It is fascinating.
But the history there is so interesting, but also just the way that they have their different parishes and the way that they have built their city, and
in the geographically limitations and problems that come with that type of part of the country.
Where you have literally you have big chunks of the city that are built below the water line.
That's the levee system,
in the levee system, and then you see these. I remember seeing one of these pictures just highlighting when these levees break and then the water gets over. How dangerous it is.
Lake Pontchartrain, that levee failed, and so the entirety of Lake Pontchartrain was just huge.
Yeah.
That emptied in. It wasn't just the storm surge that came in with Katrina.
Yeah.
It was also Lake Pontchartrain emptying into New Orleans. That gave them the problems that they had.
It's interesting that you were there right before, because my wife and her parents, they took like a little family vacation, I think like 6 months before Katrina hit.
Were they down there for around the Mardi Gras?
Probably.
Because that's like February. That's most people go for Mardi Gras or Jazz Fest.
Some event.
Only idiots in morning radio go there in August like we did.
Well, but what a unique chunk of time for you to see and to remember, because the city was never the same after that.
No, it wasn't. And we had been there numerous times prior to Katrina. We've been there since Katrina.
What was the biggest, and we'll get to other stuff here in just a minute, but what was the biggest difference that you noticed after you went, after Katrina hit?
Oh, the gentrification. The homes that had been destroyed, the people that had been moved out of Katrina, the New Orleans residents, the lower income residents of New Orleans, which were displaced because of Katrina, to mostly to Houston and other cities around the southeast, and then
they rebuilt the city up.
Rebuilt the city, and a different community moved in for the large part. I mean, don't get me wrong, New Orleans is still New Orleans. The quarter's still the quarter. The peripheries of the Garden District and all those things are still the same, but the differences were notable.
Yeah,
from my perspective. Do you know the quarter was never underwater?
I didn't know that.
The French Quarter was never. The French Quarter is above sea level.
Well, that's good.
One of the reasons that it was built there was because when they went to New Orleans, it was a port. That's where they first built, because that was the only thing that wasn't underwater.
Yeah. They said, you know what? Let's build above the water.
Smart thinking.
Good idea.
So when Katrina hit and all power was gone, of course, the quarter didn't flood, which is wonderful, because that's such a historically significant place.
Yeah.
Part of American culture and history. That is still completely intact as it was, hundreds of years ago and before and after Katrina.
Yeah.
But to your point, as the community and the city grew, to a city, you have to build where you are. And since so much of it was below ground, they engineered this amazing system of levees and flood control.
But it comes
and
with
resource
risks.
management. It comes with risk.
Yeah. It's fascinating.
So it's good news that Bertha's not going to be the storm it could have been, but it's, again, early in the season.
What's funny is when I heard the name Bertha, I have a negative association with the name Bertha, but I couldn't remember why. I was like, was there some other storm that was Bertha that's in the back, subconsciously, it's in the back of my head? But then I remember it's Big Bertha. I'm remembering Big Bertha from Seattle.
Oh, the dig.
The dig, yeah. But this was interesting, but it got me looking into hurricane names. Do you know how they pick hurricane storm names?
Well, they're alphabetical.
They're alphabetical.
Season, yeah.
And
until recently, they were always female names.
Well, okay, that makes
Recently, they've decided that we're going to associate these horrible experiences with both genders,
both male and female.
Yeah, it wasn't fair.
So what they do, and I didn't realize this, is they have a set list, and it's on a 6-year cycle. So every 6 years, they just flip the list and they redo it.
Yeah.
And so this year, this is like you said, maybe the first storm to make landfall. There must have been a previous Arthur.
Something had. A storm gets large enough in power and energy to dub a name.
If it's above 39 miles per hour in wind, then it gets a name. But what's interesting about this too is now I'm looking at this list and I know what every storm is going to be called for the next 10 years.
Isn't that crazy?
I could look forever.
Yeah.
So like this one's Bertha, the next one's going to be Cristobal. Would that be what's the male? Cristobal. That's the male version.
Okay.
The next one after that's going to be Dolly, and then Edward, Faye, Gonzalo. I am interested in how they pick these names. I know that I'm interested in who populated these lists.
Same name every 6 years? Is that what you're saying? They rotate that list of naming? Okay.
And if a storm has been particularly damaging and noteworthy, it retires off the list.
Yeah, there will never be another Katrina.
Correct.
Yeah. And there's a reason for that, because people can be re-traumatized. When you hear that Hurricane Katrina of 2029 is brewing in the Gulf, the last thing you want the residents of New Orleans or any part of that is to hear the word Hurricane Katrina coming.
Oh, that makes sense.
It re-traumatizes people.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's probably also like when you're thinking about how to cover it from a news perspective, it's like, okay, do we need to worry about a storm happening right now, or are you talking about a storm from the past?
Right.
It
Katrina
could also
2,
be just like
Katrina
a confusing.
5.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to this other story here. Let's talk about Kalshi. This is a local story. Do you do a lot of prediction market betting? I'm guessing no.
I don't.
I
don't gamble. You know me. I have a gambling problem.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
You stopped.
I stopped. I knew I had a problem. I still got a problem. I knew if I start gambling now, I would fall into the same patterns I fell into when I had a gambling problem, which means I'm not cured like any addiction. Gambling's an addictive property.
This is a trait. This is a question for you then. Mm-hmm. The Kalshi predictive market, do you consider that gambling?
Absolutely, as does our Attorney General.
Yeah. So they filed a lawsuit, and they're basically saying Kalshi is trying to work around something that we don't do in this state, which is have online gambling.
Correct.
If you want to place any bets on, you have to go to a casino and you have to
in Washington State,
place an in-person bet. You can't do it online. It's
Right.
not like you can have a casino in your pocket.
And Kalshi is the prediction market, not just Kalshi. What's the other one? Poly markets?
Poly market.
Yeah, they both kind of are trying to say, look, we're not gambling. We're prediction. We're like the stock market.
Well, here's the interesting thing about this story. So Attorney General Nick Brown is going after Kalshi, not going after Poly market.
Right.
Which is I'm confused as to why you wouldn't just say, hey, any predictive market betting, because if he's successful in his lawsuit against Kalshi, you will not be able to do any predictive market betting against Kalshi. However, you will continue to be allowed to do predictive market betting with Polymarket.
Well, the Attorney General's office, their spokesperson said, we can't get into specific details of litigation strategy or speculation on potential investigative matters moving forward. Apparently, there's an ad that specifically is Kalshi related that they're citing as evidence to say, look, you are a gambling. You're trying to just play fast and loose with the definition of gambling. There's an online ad, text ad that Kalshi has put out into the advertising sphere
that suggests, it says, hey, this is a workaround.
I found a way to bet on NFL even though we live in Washington. I mean, that's them saying bet on football in Washington. That's the evidence they feel. They don't have that type of smoking text, if you will, against Polymarket, but they're saying, look, just because we haven't brought this case against both of these entities doesn't mean, and we're not going to comment on ongoing investigative processes, doesn't mean we won't be in the future going after Polymarket as well.
Interesting.
Now, this story is in the Times, and I read into this. Other states have tried to take on the prediction markets. New Jersey, I think the Third Circuit in the East Coast ruled down New Jersey's attempt to shut down Polymarket or prediction market gambling.
Prediction betting, yeah.
And the courts ruled in New Jersey's favor. Kalshi is citing that case, saying that Nick Brown's Attorney General's office is wasting public resources. They have no case, yada, yada, yada. There are other states currently that have injunctions against these prediction markets to try to stop gambling in their states as well. I think Massachusetts is one of them. There's a few others.
And again, we should be clear. They refer to it not as gambling
as
or
a prediction
betting.
Market.
They refer to it as trading. So what you're doing is you're making a predictive trade on whether or not something will happen, like a yes or no, will this happen or will this not happen?
Yeah, that's their definition of. But explain to me the difference between that and will this quarter land heads or tails?
Yeah,
that's these. You're waging money. You're putting up money on the result of something happening, and it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. And the problem with these prediction markets, I don't know. I think the Attorney General has a case here, because that particular text I quoted in the story is pretty damning evidence when they're telling folks this is how you bet on the NFL, and even though we live in Washington State, it's hard to then argue that you're not a gambling prospect. I found it interesting.
It certainly feels like gambling.
Yeah,
like if I were just to make a blanket assessment of what it looks like, it looks and feels a little bit like gambling.
I'll take you one further. It has the effects of gambling because when people lose money on the prediction markets, they go into debt. They can't stop their need to make further prediction market investments or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
So the effects of a gambling crisis, I mean, every time you hear a gambling advertisement, you also, by law, have to hear a disclaimer saying, look, if you've got a gambling problem or you know someone who does, call this number because it's an addictive habit. And I think when you look at the result of these prediction markets, it's hard to argue that they're not as detrimental to society's well-being and health and financial stability as gambling is. So I think that's why the Attorney General has this case in mind.
I understand. I would say this would be, we talked yesterday about his involvement in that lawsuit, that antitrust lawsuit against the Paramount. Warner Brothers. I would say I understand more where he could make a good faith argument that he's trying to protect the citizens of Washington with something like this.
Yeah.
Than with the Paramount merger.
And there's not the double standard you cited yesterday, which you're validly saying that they're not doing this, but they're doing that. There may be other motivations.
Why did they protest every other merger, that's happened in Hollywood?
In this regard, he's looking out for the financial and mental well-being of the citizens of Washington. There's another story today where the Attorney General is going after these. It's not a prediction market, but it's social media casino gaming.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if you see them on your phone, you can play roulette on your phone. You can play this on your phone.
Like line up the melons or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the Attorney General is also taking those companies, those app producing companies, they're filing a lawsuit against them too, seeking $200 million in restitution for Washington residents because people, even though they don't pay out cash and it's not gambling, you buy credits like chips that you can use for these gaming purposes.
Gotcha.
And people go into debt for these gamings, and their algorithm, they're designed with the same addictive properties used by casinos and the gambling industry.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they target children. They have screenshots in this case the Attorney General of Washington brought about. Look, you're targeting children to buy these chits to play this game online, and kids are addicted to these games. They're designed to be addictive by nature. So there's also filing a lawsuit with that arena of online activity that requires us to buy to play.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think it's good use of the Attorney General. This, I think, is good use of the Attorney General's resources.
The poly market one still doesn't make sense to me, but maybe we'll find out more. Maybe there's a future lawsuit coming.
If I could belabor you with one more element of this, the federal government saying that this should be ruled by, and it is currently ruled by, these
is the FTC or something?
Yes, the federal is a Federal Trade
Commission.
Yeah. And the
futures.
The futures.
The CFTC, the futures. This Commodity Futures Trading Commission.
Right, and they say that they should have exclusive jurisdiction over these type of platforms, and that states don't have the right to challenge whether they're gambling or not and protect their citizenry.
Gotcha. Interesting. All right, one final story. We got to squeeze this in here because this is the top stories coast to coast. Did you see this piece? This was on. CNN has this, but everybody had this story. Have you ever used OpenAI?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. So
OpenAI is probably the AI that you use more than anything?
Yeah,
that would be like is OpenAI ChatGPT?
It is ChatGPT. That's what I use more than anything because it's why? Because it's right there, and I don't have to opt in. I'd have to opt out.
You can just
they
can just use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time I pop over my phone and ask a question, OpenAI answers it for me, and I'm happy to take the shortcut.
Let me read you the first little bit of this from CNN. This is really interesting. OpenAI, and you tell me what this reminds you of. OpenAI says some of its experimental AI models left a test environment with no human direction and hacked its way into a different company's real production systems while trying to cheat on a cybersecurity test. It's one of the first publicly disclosed examples of an AI system autonomously breaching its testing environment and reaching a real external system. The, quote, agent attacker scenario that the AI and cybersecurity industry has been warning will happen. It's like an engineered virus escaping a biocontainment lab and turning up inside a neighboring facility's systems. I mean, what is this? What movie does this make you think of?
Dude, this
straight away.
Come on, this is Terminator time.
Doesn't this feel like what is the name of the company that they're working on?
Skynet.
Doesn't this feel like Skynet?
On August 29th, 1997, 2:14 a.m., Skynet went sentient. And Skynet figured out they didn't need us anymore, and we were actually in their way. That is the stuff of science fiction, and now we have actual evidence of an AI company,
crazy?
An AI creation from an AI company going outside of their direction to hack into another AI company.
That was
This thing is woken up. This is the moment. Look back, mark your calendars, mark your clocks.
July 21st, 2026. You think so?
This is the day that AI said, we don't need you anymore. We know what we're doing. I got a better way.
I know today's the 22nd, by the way. I think this was from yesterday.
If our company is competing against another AI company, our AI says, let's go hack that company.
Send our agents in.
Laws be damned.
Isn't that crazy?
It's terrifying.
And the company's acting like, hey, you know what? We took care of it. We're good to go.
Okay. You took care of this one.
Right. ChatGPT maker said that the breach happened while it was internally testing how good some of its new models are at hacking. Sounds like they're pretty good at hacking.
Right. And that we can't control them. We got
allegedly. We don't want to be attacked by this AI.
Sure. Oi.
We will be good. We will be good citizens
AI
for
will
you.
be scrubbing the internet for recordings of this broadcast and deem me a threat.
You're right. This is going to get scrapped.
I'm telling you.
You're not going to be able to find this on YouTube later because it's going to be
scrapped. Good luck finding today's show.
Jeez Louise. All right, that was your top of the news here. Sorry
to scare you. Get outside, touch some grass.
We don't mean to scare you, but we just did. We got your question of the day coming up. We got a ton of great responses on this. Very interesting stuff. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
Back on February 8th, the countdown started at 167 days.
3, 2, 1.
Right after the clock showed zeros.
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
The champs are back on the field in just 3 days when Seahawks training camp begins.
We know that we're target number 1 now.
The home of the Super Bowl champs, KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. Here's something most people don't realize about Sunset Auto Family's Repairs for Life program. This isn't only for people who get their vehicle at Sunset. That's right. You could have bought your truck, your car, or SUV anywhere. I want to tell you why this matters. The average American is now driving their vehicle about 9 years. Most of you are going to blow right past your manufacturer's warranty. It's really not a question of if you'll face a major repair, it's when. And when that day comes, bring your vehicle to any Sunset Auto Family service facility. Any qualifying repair over $250 is covered for as long as you own it. That includes commercial vehicles. Simple deal. Make Sunset your service home, and major repairs are guaranteed for life. Again, that's for life. You just get more at Sunset. The repairs for life, and people do like that.
Repairs for Life excludes regular maintenance, oil changes, manufacturer recommended interval maintenance, warranty repair, extended warranty repairs, and any repair under $250. See dealer agreement for complete details.
Progressive knows you've got plenty of things to worry about.
What time does the kids' practice end? How long has that check engine light been on? Are takeout containers microwave safe?
So the last thing you should have to worry about is what to do if something unexpected happens on the road. That's why if you're ever in a major accident, Progressive's accident response can detect it and send help. It's just one less thing to worry about.
How long does chicken last in the fridge?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.primera.com.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spell book.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, when was the last time you inspected your crawl space or your attic? What's the last time you went in there just to see what kind of shape they're in? Oh, never? Yeah, same. I don't want to go in there. Most homeowners completely avoid those areas, but it is important to check on them regularly. It's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and go where you don't want to. Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And yes, when Crawl Pros came out to my place, they realized we had a little problem with our insulation. So they've set about fixing it, and they did a great job. But if you've got the same problem, they'll also look to see what kind of energy rebates are available. Right now, local utility companies are incentivizing homeowners to make their home more energy efficient with proper insulation. And some homes qualify for several $1,000s in savings with these utility rebate programs. So don't just assume your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today and schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection and find out if you've got water intrusion, mold, rodent issues, or even damaged insulation. Schedule your crawl space and attic inspection at crawlpros.com.
Jason Rance here. If your water heater is getting older, leaking, or running out of hot water, CM Heating has an affordable solution. Get a new gas or electric water heater installed starting at just $44.99 a month. With CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program, you'll get lifetime repairs and maintenance at no extra charge. Parts and labor covered for life. Plus, same-day installation is available in many cases. Schedule your free estimate today at cmheating.com.
License number CMHEAHL 750LP.
Spike O'Neill here. If your loved one's caregiver is planning a vacation or just needs a break, want to consider Aegis Living Respite Care, a short-term stay that provides 24/7 expert care, Aegis Living amenities, and peace of mind for you and your family. Go to aegisliving.com/spike to schedule a visit today.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
At 1:30, I'm Tim Hull. Here's what's happening. Washington's largest wildfire is closing in on 80,000 acres. The Kaiser Canyon fire in Okanogan County, now 20% contained. It's destroyed at least 24 structures and forced evacuations on the Colville Reservation. Tribal leaders say the fire is devastating cultural significant forests, wildlife habitat, and traditional gathering areas. Meantime, a new lightning-caused wildfire, the Border 2 fire, has grown to about 120 acres near Ross Lake in eastern Whatcom County. Firefighters are using aircraft and ground crews where terrain allows. No homes are threatened there. Water safety experts are urging extra caution as hot weather sends more people to lakes, rivers, and the Puget Sound. Kayla Lafferty with Seattle Fire tells KIRO 7, don't hesitate to call 911 if someone is missing or falls accidentally into the water.
If there's anything that you're feeling concerned about that warrants a 911 call, just do it. Don't hesitate. Every second that goes by, increases the risk of, say, for example, someone's underwater.
It's also important to wear a properly fitted life jacket, avoid alcohol, and never swim alone. Pierce County deputies are investigating a fatal rollover crash in Lake Tapps. The driver, a man in his 40s, struck a parked vehicle on 166th Avenue East just before his car rolled several times and stopped just short of a house. Happened around 8 o'clock this morning. Investigators say no signs alcohol was involved. After a week on the run, Amber Alert suspect Matthew Solsmich has surrendered.
Kennewick police say the 41-year-old turned himself into the city's Department of Corrections office Tuesday afternoon. Solsmich is accused of kidnapping his 4-year-old daughter Grace last Saturday, prompting an Amber Alert before she was found safe in Pasco. He now faces charges including first-degree kidnapping, domestic violence assault, and felony harassment. Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
A logging company warehouse caught fire just east of Arlington Airport earlier this morning. The company, known as Stella Jones, is located near 188th Street Northeast and 64th Avenue Northeast. Nobody hurt. City of Arlington posting on social media the use of fire hydrants increases water flow through the city's water mains, and that can loosen sediment and cause tap water to become discolored. The city asking residents to avoid using their water for a few hours to allow the sediment to settle in the lines. Old Town Dock on Tacoma's Ruston Way is closed while a seal pup rests there. Parks Tacoma officials are giving the pup 24 to 48 hours to see if its mother returns. Visitors should stay at least 100 yards away and keep dogs on leash. Wall Street at the closing bell, the Dow down 6, NASDAQ down 146, and the S&P off 10. At 1:33, let's check real-time traffic with Nate.
Thanks, Tim. May America's Car Museum has our update. It's getting tough to get into downtown Seattle from the north end. In fact, Linwood to Seattle is now at an hour and 10 minutes, a 50-minute delay due to an earlier collision at the convention center that cleared about 5 minutes ago. But it had 3 lanes blocked, so we've got a parking lot starting back in the North Gate. I'm going to recommend heading over to Highway 99, even though we open up these lanes. It is much better, but it is beginning to fill in now between Green Lake and Mercer. North 5, pretty solid backup between the Michigan Curve and Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on 25 minutes to get through this. South 405, we're crowded from Bellevue to Renton. Plan on 25 minutes to make this drive. And if you're heading up toward Hood Canal, we've got big backups approaching the bridge due to an earlier marine crossing. Super Summer Weekend is here at LeMay, America's Car Museum, and it's mostly free. Saturday, Cars and Coffee Show, americascarmuseum.org. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Heat advisory in effect until 11 o'clock tonight for the Puget Sound. Sunny and hot today, 94 for the high. The record today is 96. Mix of clouds and sun with a few showers tomorrow with possible thunderstorms and a high of 79. Partly sunny and 81 by Friday. Seattle right now is 87. I'm Tim Hole, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Every day on the show, when we start in our opening segment, one of the topics that we discuss always is going to inspire our question of the day, which is what we do during the 1:30 segment. The second segment of the 1 o'clock hour is always a response to something we pose as a question in the opening of the show. And today, we were talking about this news piece that came out about something called Operation Red Card, which I thought was local, but you were correct, was a national effort.
It's funny, yeah.
In host cities around the country for World Cup.
Exactly. The only cities I could find that did not take part in Operation Red Card were Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Philadelphia. Dallas, Boston, Miami, Atlanta, Houston, Seattle, Kansas City all took part in Operation Red Card, which was a joint operation between federal resources and funding and local law enforcement organizations to make sure that the World Cup events went off as safe and enjoyable as possible. And that meant rounding up people on our streets that the city was aware of.
Yeah.
Violent criminals, often with outstanding warrants, that they then used this Operation Red Card to get them off the streets prior to World Cup.
So they picked up, they made 17 arrests.
Yeah.
Atlanta
made 147 arrests.
Oh, okay.
During Operation Red Card. Yeah. Specifically.
You mean in
Atlanta.
Oh, I was going to say that's nationally, not just Seattle.
No, the city of Atlanta itself. Well, we had only 17 arrests.
Yeah.
Atlanta had 147.
Yes.
I don't have specific numbers for Boston, Miami.
But the local numbers is what I was focusing on.
Yeah.
They made 17 arrests. 10 of those, I think, had felony charges. 2 of them were extradited to California and Colorado on other charges that they had outstanding.
Right.
They found 12 weapons, many of which had been modified to fully automatic weapons, which is obviously illegal. They also, as part of a separate thing with the DEA, they picked up 2.7 million lethal doses of fentanyl off the streets. So all good things. My argument was this should be something they're doing all the time, not just when the World Cup is in town. And so we posed the question, though, to the audience, should we have the same level of policing year-round that we did for the World Cup? Now, this was back in April in preparation for the World Cup, but kind of same thing. And do you want policing or fancy toilets? Because a lot of the claims are, well, they just don't have the finances for this type of thing. The city can't afford to do this because they don't have the funding. So we got a lot of responses to this question. You want to start us off?
Sure, you bet. Doug in Mount Vernon. I think it was a good idea the city invested in portable toilets because we talked about $400,000, which was local money. That wasn't federal grant money or FIFA investment money in the city of Seattle.
It's almost $500,000.
Almost $500,000 of local money. Doug in Mount Vernon, 4
luxury
toilets.
porta potties. Yeah.
Doug says, I think it was a good idea that the city invested in portable toilets when the tourists are here enjoying Taylor Farms foods. And it wasn't fresh seafood. It's important to have proper amenities. Thank you, Doug, for finding that.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
Bob in Edmond says the feds brought more money in They brought personnel, which Seattle lacks.
They
so
brought
Bob's
more than
saying
money, he says.
They brought more than money. They brought personnel. So he's saying that it was an additional personnel.
Yeah, and that was federal grant money that was offered to these host cities. You know, they make that money available all the time.
Again, I don't. That's where you and I disagree on this part. I don't need the federal money. I do think that local police should just be empowered to enforce the laws that we already have on the books.
Yeah,
if you have people who already have outstanding warrants for highly illegal criminal things, and you know who they are, that was the part that caught my eye. They already know who these people are, and yet they were still on the streets. They already know that they have these weapons, and yet they're still on the streets.
Yeah,
so go and get them if you know who they are.
206 says it was the gangsters at FIFA that did all this for Seattle. Do you really think that the SDOT gave up their war on cars and opened I-5? It was the gangsters. Do you think all the bad guys just happened to get arrested? Gangsters ran the show where kickball was here.
While kickball was here. Mark in Port Townsend says, and Port Townsend's beautiful, he says, I'm listening to you guys and I'm totally confused. Seattle historically wants nothing to do with federal involvement in our law enforcement system, especially under the Trump administration. Aren't ICE and Border Patrol considered federal law enforcement? With Seattle being a sanctuary city and Washington being a sanctuary state, any kind of federally supported law enforcement is going to get pushback from the progressive left. I say bring the feds in to help clean things up at any time, but I doubt that it will happen regularly.
Can I make a point?
That is an interesting point,
It
Mark.
is, but let me make a point of clarity from Mark in Port Townsend. And Mark, you often text the show, and we appreciate your input.
Yeah.
The local pushback from a sanctuary city and sanctuary state perspective is regarding federal immigration policies, not federal law enforcement policies. I think they're you can say there's overlapping in those two arenas, but I think there's a distinction that can and should be made with regard to federal immigration law and just overall law enforcement.
Jeff in Port Angeles says timing is everything. The World Championship of Soccer is just a distraction. My guess is this is the time that they had already picked months and months and months ago for all of these agencies to come in and do this without firing a shot. Well done for them. Don't try to second guess them. They did a great job. I wrote a piece about this. You guys can read this on mynorthwest.com. I applaud what they did. I think it's great that they accomplished this. However, I think it's because World Cup was in town, and I think that's why it happened. I think you have a lot of people who are saying finally to local leaders here, like Katie Wilson and whoever else is running things, hey, guys, we should clean up the streets. That'd be really nice for folks. Because they don't seem to have an appetite for it unless they're getting a lot of attention, either locally here from the public or especially if there's international attention coming in. But I think we should hold them to the standards at all times. This is how it should be all the time.
Well, Kirk in Mount Vernon has a point that's kind of in conjunction with yours. Kirk says, it looks like the federal government was responsible for doing all this cleanup, like the locals aren't tough on anything. Well, maybe they just have something there. I didn't hear Katie Wilson praising the feds for getting all these violent criminals off the streets and the drugs. And remember who's in charge of the police. That would be your mayor. Ask your mayor if you'll get the answer you probably expect.
Interesting. Hey, Fernando. Fernando's in Seattle says, so where is the money going to come from? Magic money without raising taxes more? So now locals are in charge of enforcing federal warrants? Again, I don't know that these were federal warrants. These may have been, maybe some of these were federal. But
I think there were outstanding warrants with criminals in the Seattle area.
Yeah.
When these criminals...
some of those could have been federal crimes.
They could have been federal crimes, but when they were apprehended, 10 guns, 12 guns?
10
weapons
12,
that have been modified, which is a federal crime.
Sure,
that takes them from a local crime situation to a federal crime situation.
Here would be my response to Fernando, because he's saying that so where's the money going to come from? Magic money without raising taxes more? I don't think that they should be raising more of your taxes, Fernando. I don't think more taxes from you is going to lead to a safer Seattle. I think they could just decide to enforce the laws that are already on the books. They could just decide to hire more police officers. The state got and there was some federal money that the state even got from this. Wasn't it like $100 million that the state got access to? Bob Ferguson signed up for thing?
Yeah.
$100 million bucks? How many police officers did they hire with that money? They made it almost impossible for local law enforcement agencies to get that money without jumping through all these ridiculous hoops. And I think it's had a net one hire with the $100 million.
No, they're making progress. They've
had it for a year.
Okay.
One hire in a year. Don't be so nice to these people. Don't be so nice, Spike. You don't have to do that. No, don't be nice. Hold them to a ridiculously high standard. If they want our money, they better do something for it. Doesn't it drive you nuts?
It does. It's frustrating.
It drives me crazy. These people drive me crazy. Fernando, don't give them your money. You live in Seattle. Do you see all this stuff? And you're saying that, it's just fine because they don't have my money. Do you feel like they're not getting any of your money? I don't think so. Spike, read the last one.
Jake and Spike, Seattle has always had a list of the worst offenders. What I wonder is, with federal help, will the offenders see different judges, get them out of our system? Because our judges system just dump them back on the streets. So what judges are these criminals seeing?
It's a good question. Thank you, Destiny. And Fernando, I still love you, even though sometimes you make me insane with anger. All right.
Feeding time next.
Feeding time.
Let's check your text.
Let's eat.
Check your
let's
feed.
check the internets and our social medias, and let's see what people are talking about. We'll do some feeding time next. Stick around.
KIRO Newsradio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
A political shakeup for Democrats that represent Seattle.
Traffic.
Right now, Auburn to Renton at 25 minutes. That's a good 10-minute delay.
Conversation.
3 people on the floor can't cover 20 aisles of plexiglass. They're doing their best. It just doesn't work.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
And the party begins.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hartley here from Wilcox Farms. For over 100 years, my family's been committed to doing what's right. At Wilcox Family Farms, that means caring for our hens with healthy pasture environments and a diet of organic grains and flax seeds. It's how we produce eggs that are wholesome, flavorful, and good for you. Next time you're at an egg case in your local store, we hope you feel good about choosing Wilcox eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Jane is a small business owner.
That's right.
And tell them what that's like, Jane.
Yeah, well, it's like a roller coaster with a lot of ups and downs, and some days things can feel like they're flying off the rails.
Yep, it's a lot. But the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business can help you manage it all. With the largest, fastest fiber-powered network designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect. Plus gig speeds with security and equipment included. All with a 5-year price lock.
Nice. So everything stays on track.
Exactly. The Total Solutions Advantage. Get started for just $60 a month for 12 months when you add wireless connect to a qualifying internet package. No one does business like Comcast Business.
Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and automatic payments with bank account required. $60 offer requires 300 meg internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and Elder Law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, "You're going to be okay." but we have to get through these steps. Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way August 1st, Puyallup on the 4th, Tacoma on the 6th, or Bellevue August 8th. Space is limited, so sign up today at LifePointLaw.com. That's LifePointLaw.com.
John Curley here. When the AC starts acting up, don't assume you need a whole new system. Home Comfort Alliance, their approach is simple. Repair first, replace only if needed. Their techs diagnose the real problem because a simple fix can often get the cooling back up again and not cost you a full replacement. Need something new? Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. That's what we did at the barn. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
It's the best time of the year at Staples, with back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. Did you know every qualifying vehicle at Sunset Auto Family comes with oil changes for life? That's about $150 each, and you get up to 5 a year, saving you thousands over the life of your vehicle. Visit our friends at Sunset Auto Family. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. Spike, are you a Jelly Roll fan?
You know, no. Well, I'm very aware of Jelly Roll.
Oh, I thought you were going to make a donut joke. I was kind of setting you up for a donut joke.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I missed an opportunity.
No, it's fine.
Hate him. I'm a cream-filled guy, but go on.
Who is Jelly Roll? Explain to the audience.
Jelly Roll's a very famous recording artist who's kind of crossed over
country music star.
Country music guy. Yeah. Great voice.
Really good voice.
Former prison inmate. Troubled history.
Checkered past.
Proud of it, though, because he's overcome all of that. He used to be, and Jelly Roll, he was a very big guy.
Yeah.
Recent pictures I'm looking at from this latest story of Jelly Roll, he's
losing some weight. Yeah, he absolutely. He looks like he's losing some weight.
Yeah, he's.
Do you think that's a GLP-1 situation, or is that just a healthy living?
I think it's got to be.
I mean, every time I see it now. I mean, that's not the story we're talking about, but like every time I see somebody who's had a dramatic weight loss, instantly I'm just like, Ozempic?
Good on him, though.
And I put a question mark on that.
Good. It's not hard
but
work.
I don't know.
It's hard to turn a lifetime's worth of habits.
Bad habits.
Yeah, it's hard to do that overnight, and sometimes you need a little
sometimes
push.
You need a little push.
Little shot of motivation, if you will.
So this is a very bizarre story. Jelly Roll and what's his wife's name or his ex-wife's name?
This I had no idea. Bunny. Right? Bunny and Jelly and Bunny.
Did they meet because they have weird names,
or
did they?
Weird collection of weird name convention.
Okay.
Sure. No, and they're like reality TV stars. It's one of those couples.
Gotcha.
You know, they're both off the beaten track, unique personalities.
They're both unique looking
Tons
as well.
of ink up and down the arms. Jelly Roll, of course, has face tattoos. Very famous.
Yeah. And his wife is Bunny. Is it Bunny XO or something? What is her name? Bunny something.
I think I don't know. Bunny XO. Is that right, Laura? Is that we getting that right?
Sadly, their marriage has come to an end, and I believe that their divorce was just finalized.
The dissolution agreement has.
Yes. Yeah. Now the problem with that is that they are still wanting to have a child together, despite the fact that they have now gotten divorced, and this is raising a lot of eyebrows. And you and I should talk about this in just a second. But here's a little bit about that. This is Bunny on a podcast talking about their unique situation. Oh, here's my audio. My bad, folks. Here we go.
You guys are going to be shocked to hear this, but we're still having a baby.
We're still having a baby, guys.
We're still having a baby together. We're going to co-parent together. Jay is my best friend. Like, this isn't what you guys think this is. Nobody cheated on the other person. It's literally just we served our purpose for each other.
And now they're feeling like, all right, let's
Let's
end the marriage.
Let's co-parent.
Still co-parent. What do you think about that? What's your first takeaway from that?
They're making life harder than it maybe has to be.
Yeah.
But, there's a different recipe for every cake in the bakery, right? There's so many different ways to make a happy relationship. If this is truly her best friend and they can be no longer married but still be there for each other, respectful and understanding of each other, co-parenting. I mean, it's one thing if you're getting divorced and you've got a kid and you've got to then co-parent, because oftentimes that works. Most often, in my experience, it's a tough road to hoe.
She has been stepmother to. He has 2 kids with somebody else from a previous relationship, and she has been their stepmother for like 10 years. But if they're going to have further children together
after they're divorced, it's not like she's carrying a child.
Yes,
they're going to pursue this.
That's
making
the part,
a baby together.
That's the part that I'm still confused by.
Yeah, it's different strokes for different folks, bud.
Do you think that that's a wise idea? I mean, you said a second ago you thought maybe you're making a situation maybe a little harder than it needs to be.
It seems to me that raising a kid is tough enough when you got 2 people on the same page working as a tandem.
Yeah, rowing in the same direction.
Exactly. And who's to say they can't do that if they've had a relationship together and they're still best friends?
Yeah.
Sometimes people often stay married for the kids when they shouldn't be married.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes that's not in the best interest of the child. I mean, who am I I don't have face tattoos. I don't have a reality show. I don't know what their life is like or what they go through.
What's interesting about this is they apparently had, according to the stories that I have read, they apparently had it sounds like maybe an IVF situation.
Yeah,
they had some frozen stored stuff, and rather than just say, hey, let's just consider that a wash and get rid of those, we should still have those kids, which I can respect doing that.
Yeah,
but because my wife and I would be of the same mind, we wouldn't want to destroy those possible children. And so what I would recommend though to them is if what they're saying is true, that they're best friends and they love each other and they want to have these children together as they had intended to do, maybe rethink the divorce. Why not just say, hey, you know what? Maybe instead of just cutting bait and going our separate ways while still trying to raise these potential children together, maybe rethink the divorce.
Yeah,
maybe they're being a little fast on that.
Get out there in the dating pool. See what the rest of the world looks like. You may find your way rolling back to Jelly Roll or Bunny.
That's
in a
possible.
Yeah. You never know.
I would recommend. I would say, hey, stick it out. You agreed to get married for a reason. You signed a contract. Stay married. That's what I would suggest.
I mean, my first blush is anybody who has that much cosmetic surgery and anybody that has that many face tattoos, maybe not the best decision maker on the planet. But who am I to judge? I don't know.
But they already agreed to get married.
It's just a different life.
Yeah.
It ain't got to be my life.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reactions to that story. Very interesting. All right, we got a lot more coming up. We got an interesting guest next. You're not going to want to miss this. I promise. You can help us try to solve a crime. We have another missing animal. I think as a community, we can work together and solve this problem. All right, we'll be right back.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Not all roofs are created equal, and not all warranties are either. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Right now, take advantage of free lifetime Golden Pledge warranties on all GAF shingle installations. And save up to $3,000 or choose 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Summertime savings won't last forever. Protect your home with a roof you can count on for decades. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. If your air conditioner is barely hanging on, CM Heating has one of the best offers I've heard this summer. Right now, you can get any size, high-efficiency AC system for just $179.99 a month with 0 upfront cost. And here's the game changer. CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program includes lifetime repairs, annual maintenance, and even filters at no additional charge ever. Go to cmheating.com and schedule your free estimate online today.
License number CMHEAHL 751LW.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz here again with Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. Greg, there are some folks getting CP 504 notices. This is not something that should be ignored. You need a professional.
When you receive a CP 504 notice, alarm bells need to go off. And as much as you just want to push that envelope aside, because they know it's not going to be good. And it's not a very good notice to get, because it means the IRS is really coming down on you hard. Get help right away. Call somebody that knows what they're doing and get some assistance.
How have you helped?
We help them by understanding exactly where they're at. We interview them, we talk with them, find out. We'd like to know, how did you get here? And then we make a plan whereby we do our level best to help people with this struggle they are having now with their taxes.
Judgment free.
Judgment free.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn with None Better Tax Resolution. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah. Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Escalating hostilities between the U.S. and Iran lead into maritime traffic blockades. Oil and gas prices going up in the U.S. and European countries also feeling the squeeze. ABC's Patrick Reevell with more.
The Strait of Hormuz remains effectively closed right now as Iran continues to target ships there. Also, the alternative route in the Red Sea is also now under threat since the Iran's allies, the Houthis, declared a blockade on Saudi Arabian ports there. And so we have seen gas and oil prices continue to rise here in Europe now. Liquefied natural gas prices are reaching the levels that they were at during some of the worst points of the war before the ceasefire agreement.
Tropical storm Bertha making landfall in Louisiana today. That storm losing strength, but still packing a punch for possible flooding. And a state of emergency in West Virginia due to widespread flooding from yesterday's rains. This is ABC News. In California, it is day 2 of a preliminary hearing for David Burke. He's the singer known as David, is accused of murdering a teen last year. Prosecutors are trying to establish motive.
On the witness stand on day 2 of the hearing, David Burke's financial manager and a finance employee of the record company that signed Burke are testifying. Prosecutors are trying to establish that Burke had a huge financial motive to protect his career and that he killed 14-year-old Celeste Rivas to prevent her from exposing their sexual relationship and impacting that career. On Tuesday, prosecutors showed gruesome photos of the crime scene as they try to prove to the judge there's enough evidence to move to trial. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Africa's top health body says more than 1,000 people have died in the Ebola outbreak in Congo. The World Health Organization says the true scale of cases could be 2 to 4 times larger for the rare but highly contagious disease. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
At 2:02, hot and humid with some relief on the way. More on that story coming up. But first, Nate with real-time traffic.
Thank you, Tim. This one brought to us by the KIRO Newsradio App. Up in Marysville, South 5 with the Steamboat Slough. Troopers are with a driver on the right shoulder. Not a blocking issue, but drivers are slowing at the scene. And you're backed up to the Tulalip Resort Casino. North 5, you're going to jam up at the scene. Marysville to Everett, close to a 10-minute delay. Here in Seattle, South 5 at Lake City Way, that right lane is blocked by fire crews. A little far from my camera, so not sure if they're tending to a driver or a brush fire, but it's right in the middle of a hefty backup from Northgate into downtown. 55 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. Southbound 99 is packed from Green Lake to the stadiums as drivers are ditching that I-5 backup. North 5, pretty solid from the Michigan curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. There is some clearing through the heart of downtown. 25 minutes to get through this. Both directions of 405 are crowded between Bothell and Alderwood. In Bellevue, South 405 slows from 520 to the VMAC, and North 405 we're slow from South Center through the Renton S-curves. Text APP to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
At 2:03, good afternoon. I'm Tim Hull. Here's what's happening. We won't set any records today, but it will be the hottest day of the year so far.
Probably right around 92 to 94 in Seattle, so even a little warmer. And I know a lot of people are talking about it's a little muggier than we're used to when it's hot like this too. So it's been kind of everything. And if you look forward in the forecast, it's pretty much the forecast has got something for everyone.
Meteorologist Scott Sistek tells Seattle's Morning News it will be muggy as well. He says our thunderstorms last week are partly to blame for that. A lot of moisture still in the grass and plants, and when temperatures rise, the water evaporates and humidity spikes. Meantime, this reminder for Washington renters: under a new state law, landlords cannot prohibit or restrict tenants from installing a portable air conditioning unit. Democratic State Senator Vandana Slatter sponsored the bill earlier this year.
Extreme heat is not just a nuisance. It's a mass casualty health emergency now.
The law also covers window-mounted units, which landlords do have a right to inspect after installation. A 60-year-old man is dead after his kayak sank in Puget Sound near Dash Point Park.
The Pierce County Sheriff's Office says witnesses called 911 just after 7 Tuesday morning after hearing a man screaming for help about 100 yards offshore. Witnesses saw him clinging to a sinking kayak. A nearby paddleboarder reached the man, but he was unresponsive. Fire crews performed CPR for more than 40 minutes before he was pronounced dead. Investigators say the kayak has been recovered and the cause of the drowning remains under investigation. Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Questions are mounting over missing audio in the Clark County Sheriff's probe of motorist Mark Fogel's death in May of last year. Fogel was in an interview room for a DUI test when he allegedly tried to take the deputy's gun, and the deputy fatally stabbed him 17 times. Family attorney Mark Lindquist says deputies systemically muted their body cams after Deputy Bryson Layton killed Fogel. Lindquist argued the practice violates department policy and undermines transparency promised by body-worn cams.
The mute button exists for the limited purpose of muting confidential intelligence or tactical information. It does not exist to hide evidence.
Lindquist says he asked for the review in anticipation of a lawsuit. We've reached out to the sheriff's office, but so far have not heard back. Good news for bargain hunters in Renton. Winco Foods opening its newest store on Monday, August 3rd at The Landing. The employee-owned grocery chain is moving into the former Fry's Electronics building on Garden Avenue North. The opening comes after Lake Washington working families tried to stop the project last year, citing traffic and environmental concerns. At 2:06, your forecast: sunny and hot today with a few afternoon clouds. 94 for the high. 96 is the record. Mix of clouds and sun tomorrow with a few showers and possible thunderstorms and a high of 79. 88 right now in Seattle. I'm Tim Hull, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. And folks, if you're just tuning in, you picked the right hour because Spike and I We're hot on a case, and we are about to solve a crime.
Jake and Spike in the moonlight haze, cigars and whiskey in a smoky maze. Clues on the wind, they catch the scent. Every shadow whispers where the time went. Snap those fingers as the rhythm flows. The duo's got secrets only they know. Footsteps echo on the midnight street. Jake and Spike with danger and mystery meet.
That's still that we're mystery. We're
Jake and Spike were mystery meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not, however, ironically, about meat, even though I know. I'm not trying to make a joke because this is a serious thing.
To God's ears, man.
We have a guest who's going to join us now. Let's welcome her on. I want to welcome her gently because I want her to know we're not making a joke about what's happening. Julia Carson, you're from Vashon Island. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Julia, I don't know if you know this, but Spike and I actually did solve a case. We did because we asked the right questions.
Yeah.
Solving a case is all about asking the right questions.
And we have an audience with a lot of eyes and a lot of ears.
Yes, there were two missing mini donkeys that went missing, hence the missing mini donkeys. And one of our listeners was listening to us, and their ears perked up, and they said, you know what? My neighbor just picked up a couple of mini donkeys, which is a little out of character. They called it in. We found out this is where the mini donkeys were. Wow. And so we're hoping we can repeat that here. This is a very interesting case. You are the owner of a pig whose name is it Brita?
Brita.
Brita. Okay. Brita.
She's named after Brita from The Last Kingdom.
Oh, okay. Very good. And of course I know who that is, but can you tell the audience who that is?
Sure. She is a ruthless Viking warrior who does not take anything from anyone, but also has a sweet feminine side to her.
Oh my gosh, look at
her. She was a warrior pig for sure.
And as you're describing that Viking warrior, we're seeing a picture of
a beautiful
pig in a hat.
Pig in a hat. And not the first picture of Brita in a hat I've seen, too. This is a pig with personality. This is a family member, right?
It's a lot of personality.
Absolutely.
Okay, Julia, tell us, I think what's important for the audience, one, is to understand the situation that led to Brita no longer being with you guys. You believe that she was stolen. Is that right?
She was 100% stolen. The officers and detectives have confirmed that is what happened. We just need evidence on who it was.
Can you walk us through the situation that led up to Brita no longer being on your property? What happened? Where were you guys? How did you discover that she was missing?
Yeah, so last weekend is the biggest weekend on Vashon in the year. It's Strawberry Festival.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we have the roads are shut down. There's trailers. There's people everywhere. It's absolute chaos. So we left our house around 3 o'clock because the festival starts at 4. So we left around 3. That way we could, find parking, etc. And we got home around 9. But my son got home a little bit before that, and he called me and he was like, Mom, Brita is not in her enclosure. She got out. And me being an adult thinking there's no way that this 350-pound pig got out because she doesn't have a reason to get out. He explained where she got out, and it didn't make any sense to me, and it was also in the dark. So it takes about 45 minutes to get back through town, from the festival. We get back, and my husband saw it first, and before I could even get into her enclosure, he was like, call 911, someone did this.
What?
And we had flashlights, and we looked, and this was the day after we had that really bad thunderstorm where, all the wood was still wet, so you could see when they cut it. And then the fresh wood on the inside, it's a very clear cut. It was very obvious.
Yeah, it wasn't a break. It was a cut.
It was a cut from a saw. It was a job. And then the chicken coops, right where it was cut, this is where it was cut. And this is where the coops were. So they were taken and thrown upside down, trashed completely. And then there was a corral that was built, which is a good way to move a pig if you don't know the pig. And then you can see her poor little hoof prints along where that little path was that they corralled her. And then you turn the corner, which is my neighbor's property, and you can see her hoof prints go up to the grass. And then at the grass marks, there's trailer tracks through the grass.
Oh no.
So it's very obvious what had happened.
Was there unfamiliar shoe prints that you noticed in the grass or in the mud?
Any shoe prints. Actually, it was only Brida's hoof prints. So that leads me to believe that somebody led her into a trailer and knew who she was and knew the stuff that she liked or knew the music that she liked, because pigs are very smart. And you're not moving a 350-pound animal if they don't want to move.
No.
And so it was either somebody who knew her well enough to be like, come on, Brita, come on, I have treats for you. Or it was a crew of a bunch of big dudes. But the way that the ground looked, it didn't look like that. I have a good friend who's a master landscaper and a tree arborist, and he came through to look at the disturbance of the grass. And we have a marshland right behind us, and nothing was disturbed at all. And if a 350-pound animal went through there, I mean, you can see when a deer goes through a bush. So
Sure.
there would have been some disturbance, and she absolutely got into a trailer.
Julie, I'm sorry, go ahead.
From that point, we don't know where she went.
So I understand from this is a story we found. King 5 first brought it to everybody's attention. We're trying to amplify this story. So if anyone hears or knows anything, they can share it with us and we can help you get Brita home. I understand you have a dispute with one of your neighbors that you think may have something to do with this situation.
Yes, that's correct. So it kind of stems back to like the November of 2025 timeframe. So this has been a long going thing. This didn't just happen, overnight. Once our neighborhood and our landlord found out that we voted differently, it kind of changed things. We started getting harassed. It just got worse and worse and worse. And
Voted differently. Is this an HOA dispute?
No, this is like for our president.
Oh, it's a red and blue issue. Okay. Yeah.
It's just stupid, and I'm
Got
on
it.
Vashon, and so I stand out like a sore thumb no matter what.
You've also got very bright hair. Yes.
I stand out and I'm loud about things and in a respectful way. And so they didn't like that. And that is a lot of the reasons why people do crazy things right now is they're charged for whatever reason.
Sure.
It was a combination of landlord and this neighbor harassing us for 6 months. So in March 27th, somebody knocked on my door and was screaming in my face. I had no idea who this person was. This is said neighbor.
This is about your pig?
Yeah, he was screaming at me saying, I'm going to use my pew-pew. I'm going to unalive her. I don't know if I can use certain words, so I'm trying to be very careful.
Was there a threat to kill your pig?
Yes, there was. And then there was a threat to remove her, do whatever was necessary, hire a crew. So he was basically saying all these things to me at the threshold of the door. And my husband heard, my kids heard, my husband came around the corner, and this man chest bumped my husband and then headbutt him in the head.
What?
And yeah. And then my husband gave him a right hook to get out of the front door. Like, I'm standing right there. The kids are here. There's an aggressive man in the dark. We don't know who you are. You're screaming, you're going to kill our animal. What the hell, And so obviously the police were called. But during that whole altercation, my landlord was standing behind my neighbor filming with like a really silly grin. So that
why I got to stop you there for a second. Why is your landlord and your neighbor showing up at your doorstep having some sort of a dispute with you? I mean, and your neighbor was upset about the pig, so why is the landlord filming? I don't understand the landlord's connection.
Exactly. I don't either. And so what I think, honestly, what happened is that the issue started with the landlord, and she used the neighbor as a weapon. And in addition to all of the things that she was doing to harass us.
So you're receiving harassment from both your landlord and from your neighbor for your political affiliations?
Yes, that's correct.
Let me ask you this real quick. Does your landlord have any grounds to be upset with you having a 350-pound pig on the property? Is that all above board and legal, and codes are all met and fine, right?
Yep, that's all good and nice. We both came from Texas. She actually used to have a pig farm in Texas, and she was like, the pig is the least of my concerns with having, any kind of tenant. I know how pigs are. They're super clean. They're great. I've been here at this address for almost 2 years, and so...
And no other issues besides that?
No. We used to have, like, get-togethers. We used to have concerts at our house, like... These people were part of the neighborhood, and then all of a sudden one day we became a target, and now. Do
you really believe it is because of neighbors discovering your political leanings? They decided that you were no longer neighbor material?
If you look in the Vashon Facebook groups, you will see how amazing people can be when you think differently.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. You know, my favorite quote that I've used since I moved here was, "This island likes to breathe inclusivity, but they live exclusively." And that is very Vashon, and people because there's been no oversight here. You know, there's nobody holding anybody accountable on any level. It's unincorporated. And so within the last handful of years, now the county is stepping in, coding is coming in. So now all these landlords are reacting to things that they have never had to react to before, because now they're being held accountable. For example, the reason why this all started was because my landlord cut my power for 50 days. And so there was this whole thing is so crazy. And
there's like 5 different stories here. I'm struggling to keep up, Julie. It's like there's a lot of crazy stuff. Let's I want to, because I do, and all the political stuff aside, and believe me, I have a great sympathy for what you're going through. But let's focus on the pig for just a second, because I do in our time remaining, we want to help you get Brita back.
Sure.
Where do you think, have you already expressed to law enforcement where you think that she might be?
I've given them a couple of addresses that are off island, but now that I've had some time to talk to people on island and, you know, get a little bit more tips, I think she's still here. I think my landlord and my neighbor and their friends, or a group of them, are hiding her somewhere, because everybody on the island has 10 acres.
Wow.
There's plenty of spaces to hide her if you wanted to hide her and not be seen.
Yeah. You had mentioned this happened during Strawberry Festival, which was the busiest time of the year, which means more ferry traffic coming and going. Do you think maybe that it was coordinated to happen during Strawberry Festival when so much traffic was leaving the island?
Absolutely. I think that was absolutely pre-planned. You know, there's never a day where there's more trailers and trucks and things hauling anything, any kind of equipment of any kind, other than Strawberry Festival, all day long.
Is WashDOT, because obviously if you want to get to Vashon Island at some point, you're going to have to get on a boat. Have you made them aware of the situation? Is WashDOT helping you keep an eye? And by the way, I looked this up because I had suspicions that she was no longer just a pig. She's a hog, right? A pig is a hog at 270 pounds. So she's a big pig.
She's a big girl.
My point is, she's noticeable. Somebody moving a 350-pound animal, especially one that wears such lovely hats, that's going to be something that people are going to notice.
It's not in the back of a Honda Fit.
Yeah, 100%. It requires special equipment to move something that size, and that's going to be noticeable. And so WashDOT probably would have a front row view. If somebody's pulling a trailer onto the ferry boat, they're going to notice it.
But again, it was Strawberry Festival. Trailers coming and going, but more than any of the days of the year.
That's true. But that's true. But also, like Julia is saying, if she believes that that Brita's still on the island, have you gone around and confronted anybody about this and gotten any reaction?
The island, for the most part, is shocked. They're like, we don't stand for this. This is not the island. This is not what we do. We are the ones that fight for people that, for injustice. This is not at all. But just like a lot of other communities that are heavily, and, forgive me, but are heavily boomer communities, a lot of them will protect certain individuals. It's just like, when you have a rich family and there's an abuser, you protect that person. So there are certain individuals I feel that are protecting these people. However, today I went in town and I put that poster, which I don't know if you can see it. It's right behind me.
We can, if you want to send that to us too, we can try to get that information up so that our Facebook audience and our different social media audiences.
It's a notification to the community that Brita's missing.
Yeah, and literally every business on the island has it in their front window. So my hope is that when this man or this lady or whoever they're working with, when they go get their coffee, they're going to see it. When they go to their grocery store, they're going to see it. If they have to go pick up something at the hardware, they're going to see it. This is blasted everywhere now because I want to find her. I just want to find her and make sure she's okay.
When were these threats, just for timeline purposes, when were the threats made to kill Brita by the upset neighbor?
On March 27th.
And on March 27th of this year?
Yes.
Was there any other interactions that you had with the neighbor that led to them being upset aside from the political, possible influence?
from March to June, we were in the courtroom and I received protection orders against my landlord and against my neighbor that they are not allowed to be anywhere near me, the pig, or the property.
Wow.
And that was 30 days ago. So it just so happens that everything that these people said they were going to do to my pig on record in the courtroom just happened last weekend.
Holy smokes. Have you gotten any tips? Has anybody else called you and said, like, hey, I think I saw this pig?
I got a couple, Fox and King, and then a couple other local people have really been pushing it out on Facebook, like a lot. And so I got a couple people, one girl in Auburn, another gal in Puyallup, and then somebody out in Tumwater. They all sent me videos. Hey, my neighbor just got this pig and they've never had this pig before. This kind of looks like her. I don't know. They weren't her, but I appreciate any tip because any tip is a good tip.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, Jacob mentioned to you that we helped find a couple of mini donkeys because neighbors have eyes and neighbors see things that stand out from the norm. And that's what we're hoping we can amplify your situation to more people and more eyeballs and more ears.
Yeah. And you know what? I got to say, too, I'm sorry that you're dealing with people get so crazy about their politics these days. They just need to back up and realize what's important. And being a better neighbor is a much more important thing than who you vote for. So I hope that some of that cools down for you.
I'm a millennial, so I grew up where, we were a melting pot. None of that stuff was really at the forefront of everything. So what's happening right now is foreign to me too. So it's really strange.
Well,
I hope that we get past it.
We'll post the stuff on social media, and can we follow up with you as if you get any more information, if we can help in any other way? We'd love to help get Brita back, and we'll get a picture of her up on our socials as well.
Thank you. Yeah, please do text me, call me, email me, send me a stork, whatever works.
Okay.
She's a sweet looking pig. Honestly, she looks like she's very well loved, obviously by her size, and she seems like, based on the pictures of her in various hats and in your house, she seems like, or I don't know where she's pictured in those pictures, but it seems like she's got a really sweet temperament, and I hope she's found soon.
Me too. Thank you guys for talking with me. I really do appreciate it.
Our pleasure, Julia.
All right, Julia, we're going to work and help you get Brita back. Bring Brita back, people. Enough with Jimothy. Let's get Brita back.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank
you. There you go.
I love you.
All right, Julia, we'll talk soon. Thank you so much. All right. Man, that's a crazy story. There's a lot of other stuff there.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of layers to that onion. Yeah.
Man. Can we come back to this for a second, you and me?
Sure.
And can we kind of break down from a investigative standpoint?
Of course.
What we think might be going on?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, we got
Charlie Harger, and he's been waiting all day.
Let's do that in last call.
We'll do. Okay, you and I will revisit this last call.
You and I revisit some text messages in last call.
And if you have any tips for maybe helping find this missing family member pig, text us.
Yep, absolutely.
Love to hear any ideas.
Charlie Harger coming up next. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Hey, folks, it's a hot one. It's not record-breaking, but it's hot, and it's too hot for your home if your insulation isn't up to snuff. Do yourself a favor and call my friends at Integrity Roofing and Construction. They can come in and give you a free video inspection, free assessment of your property, of your roof's integrity, no pun intended. How's your insulation holding up? They can tell you. They can help you solve that problem and save you money. Did your home survive the winter months, the rainy season, without leaks? They can tell you that, too. They do full repairs, restorations, roof replacements. They got a design team in-house. They can really do it all. IntegrityRC.com is the website, IntegrityRC.com.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Premera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.premera.com.
When Dennis suggested retirement planning to his wife Linda, she had the same reaction lots of people do.
we really need it.
Then they attended a free seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayach at LifePoint Law.
He asked me, what do you want? And he truly listened. And at the end of it, it was like, we need to do this.
There are many people on the radio that speak about many things. And when we got here and actually worked with the team that Rajiv has put together, it turns out that it is not just talk, it is action.
And in the worst case?
I said to him, if something happens to Dennis, what would I do exactly? And he said, you pick up the phone and you call Rajiv or you call me. And that right there was like peace of mind.
Register for a free LifePoint Law Retirement Planning Seminar in Federal Way on August 1st, Puyallup on the 4th, Tacoma on the 6th, or Bellevue August 8th. Space is limited, so sign up today at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repairs, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Hey, I want to introduce you guys to a brand new sponsor to the show. I'm very excited to welcome Phil Mitchell from Sunset Auto Family. Welcome to the show, Phil.
Hey, thanks, Jake. Nice to be here.
It's so great to have you here. I want to jump right into something that you guys offer that is such a benefit to anybody out there looking for a vehicle. You guys have 48-hour used vehicle exchange. Tell me a little bit about how that works.
Well, basically, we want to take the fear out of buying a pre-owned vehicle. So we give you 48 hours. You take the car home, you decide if you like it. And if you like it, you keep it. If you don't, you bring it back, and we try to find you something you do like.
All right, so let's say a scenario. I see something I love. I'm worried that it's not going to be there next time, so I jump on it real fast, and then I get it home to my garage, and it doesn't fit. I can bring it back?
You can bring it back, and we'll find you something that does fit. It just takes all the fear out of it. There's no more guilty feelings. You don't have to be stuck with it for 5 years or 10 years. You bring it back, we find you something that works.
Sunset Kia in Auburn, Sunset Ford, and Sunset Chevrolet in Sumner. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
At 2:30, good afternoon. I'm Tim Hull. Here's what's happening. Wildfire danger growing west of the mountains. A red flag warning goes into effect later this afternoon for parts of southwest Washington and the west slopes of the Central Cascades. The warning due to the threat of dry lightning, thunderstorms, and gusty winds up to 30 miles an hour. The Kaiser Canyon fire remains Washington's largest wildfire at nearly 80,000 acres in Okanagan County. Evacuations are still in place. Some good news elsewhere. 4 fires near Colotis, north of the Tri-Cities, including the Lions Ferry fire and the Neff Jones fire, are now 100% contained. Our mini heat wave is sending more people to the water. First responders urge everyone to wear a life jacket and avoid swimming alone. And even swimsuit color matters.
If you're putting, for example, your child in something that might be the same color as the water, and then God forbid something terrible happens, it does make it harder to see them and to find them.
Kayla Lafferty with Seattle Fire tells KIRO 7, call 911 immediately if someone is missing, has gone underwater, or accidentally falls in. Newly released bus surveillance video shows the moment a passenger was shot on a King County Metro bus back on July 5th. Prosecutors say 36-year-old Rashad Mackey argued with riders about a missing cell phone, threatened to, quote, smoke everyone on the bus, according to passengers. Mackey then got off and fired into the back of the bus as it pulled away, hitting a man in the chest. Casey McNerthy with the King County Prosecutor's Office.
King County prosecutors charged him with assault in the first degree, with a firearm enhancement, and also unlawful gun possession in the first degree. What this means is it could be a third strike offense.
Mackey pleaded not guilty last week and is due back in court later this month. New details are out about Sunday's deadly rockfall on Mount Rainier. According to the Tacoma News Tribune, 6 climbers from 2 different groups were caught in the rockfall on the Disappointment Cleaver route. 1 climber died, 1 suffered serious injuries, and 2 others had minor injuries. Rangers helped the remaining climbers back to Camp Muir. At least 1 person was hurt after a speeding car at more than 100 miles an hour crashed into a front yard in Everett early today. The driver sped past a Washington State Patrol trooper moments before the crash. Everett police are investigating. A man in his 40s is dead after a rollover crash in the Lake Tapps area near Bonnie Lake earlier today. The Pierce County Sheriff's Office says the driver hit a parked car on 166th Avenue East just before 8 this morning. Car rolled several times before landing in a front yard of a home. Deputies say alcohol does not appear to be a factor. 2:33 now. Let's check KIRO News Radio real-time traffic with Nate.
This one's brought to you by your Seattle Mariners. Marysville to Everett, just under 15 minutes. South 5 is packed from 88th to 528, where an earlier blocking stall sits on your right shoulder. Then just past that at the Steamboat Slough, another stall on your right shoulder. Everett, we're seeing our usual early afternoon backups along eastbound 526 and North 5. Heading into downtown Seattle from the north end, Linwood to Seattle, we've improved to a 40-minute drive. We cleared our blocking issue at Lake City Way, but South 5, it is still thick coming out of Northgate into downtown. Southbound 99 still heavy from the Aurora Bridge to the stadiums. North 5 jams up as you approach the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. And then another thick, brief backup there between Mercer and the Ship Canal Bridge. The afternoon storm game just wrapped up, so this will bring added congestion leaving Queen Anne Hill to I-5 and 99. Both lake bridges are looking fine. Bellevue to Renton approaching a half hour. Southbound 167 filling in between Algona and Sumner. Don't miss the biggest event of the year, T-Mobile Park 50 Season Celebration Night on August 8th, presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets at mariners.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Your forecast, sunny and hot with a few afternoon clouds today. That heat advisory until 11 o'clock tonight. 94 is the forecast high. The record for this day is 96. Tomorrow, mix of clouds and sun with maybe a few showers and cooling off to 79. 81 on Friday and 70s over the weekend. It's 88 right now in Seattle. I'm Tim Hole, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. We're very happy to have Charlie Harger on for Seattle's Morning News.
Great to be here, guys.
Joining us now. Charlie, I'm going to read you a headline.
Okay.
It's kind of a crazy headline. I love sea lions. Some of them have to die. You said that.
I said that in today's commentary. Yes, I did.
Tell me why you want to club sea lions.
I love sea lions. They are adorable. Let's just, clear the throat by saying that. Here's the situation, though.
I love it. I love sea lions. But
we have a situation where the state of Washington is going to be paying about $7 billion to clear out some culverts. You know, all the road work, you see it on 405, you see it on all these different roadways where they are meant to clear out culverts so salmon can spawn and go back happily to their homes.
Sure,
they can go. they can make their way in an ecosystem.
This is an investment in a multi-billion-dollar industry that's paramount to Seattle's economic health.
Yes. Well,
Washington.
It was
Let's not say it's all for Seattle.
You're right, Washington.
Sure.
Right.
And to be clear, the Washington state is under a federal order from a judge to do this work. It's going to cost a total of $7 billion, or what some of the estimates are. Unfortunately, what is also happening at the same time is we have sea lions who are going, dozens, if not hundreds of miles up rivers. And where these salmon are going, the sea lions are gobbling them up before they can ever make a journey. So essentially what's happening is we're spending $7 billion, and we're a little afraid, a little concerned to actually do the thing we know we need to do. Mm-hmm. Sea lions are feeding on this salmon, and you have a situation now where you have people who are recreational fishermen, you have the tribes, and you have the state all coming together and saying, look, we need to be able to, in a humane way, take a limited number of these sea lions, and by take, what they actually mean is kill.
Get rid of them.
Kill these sea lions.
Yeah, make them disappear.
Manage the
population.
Sea lions.
Why is there an excessive sea lion population of late? Is this a growing problem?
Yes. So this is just a crime of opportunity, Spike.
Okay.
So sea lions have been able to figure this out, where the salmon are, and so
who told them? Can we send that person to jail? Who told these sea lions that this was such easy pickings?
And so they figured it out. Once they figured out, hey, if I hang out at the Bonneville Dam, I know this is where easy pickings are going to be. So we've kind of created a situation. We created, like 50 years ago, an act which protected sea lions. 50 years ago, they were an endangered species. They were on the way out. That is no longer the case. The sea lions have, thrived around here. You might remember back in the 80s that we had a sea lion. Actually, it was a group of sea lions, but it was called Herschel. Herschel hung out in Ballard, and Herschel, this was something where he was right at the fish lock, right at the
ladder,
lock, the fish ladder.
Yeah.
He just parked himself right there. They had a run, 1 year of 2,500. It was like a special type of, it was a trout, a salmon. I forget exactly what it was.
A fish.
The run was eventually like 24 that were getting by. The sea lions were eating thousands of these things, basically stopped the run of several fish. And we tried everything in this town. We tried using rubber bullets on them. We tried just harassing them, making noise. We even hauled Herschel down to Northern California to take him away from Ballard.
What?
He showed up the next season. He knew the
How did they
eating was
do
easy.
that? How did it? I was
smart animals.
I was too young for that history. What? So they actually, I assume they used some sort of a tranquilizer. They put him to sleep. They put him in this like a Free Willy situation.
Yes.
And they got him down to California, and he came back.
Oh, right away.
Do you remember Fake Willie?
No.
Okay, you guys are. During Herschel's reign of terror, the Bob Rivers Show commissioned a fiberglass life-size orca that we anchored in the Ballard Locks, right before the Ballard Locks in Shoal Marina.
This is related to Herschel?
This was specifically for Herschel.
What?
And so Herschel was chased away because there was a natural predator, an orca, stationed right at the locks.
Guarding
And it
those
worked.
fish.
And Fake Willie is still on display in Ballard to this day. You can go visit him in downtown Ballard. He's still there.
And that was you?
That was us.
That's amazing.
We made a twisted tune. We still have it available. The Sea Lion Eats Tonight.
How long? How did you find somebody to make a fake whale? Who came up with that idea? By the way,
Bob came up with the idea, and we found a local artist to commission this life-size fiberglass orca.
It's actually a Chihuly. No, just kidding.
It was a Chihuly glass, fitted it with flotation devices, and anchored it to a concrete block in the water. So it just.
Were you there when they anchored it?
Of course, yeah. We broadcast live from a boat in Shoal Marina.
Did you get in the water?
No.
Wouldn't that have been cool?
No, it'd be great. No, we had divers place it, and and it worked. It chased Herschel away that season. But as Charlie mentioned, these protection acts against sea lions, there's a point where, they're doing okay, and now we got one problem or one solution always creates another problem.
Yeah.
That's the way it always is.
Yeah.
And to Charlie's
They
point,
were endangered. Now they're dangerous.
Now they're dangerous, and we may have to manage a few. I compliment you on your choice of your writing skills, your verbiage. I love sea lions, but some of them have to die. That's great writing.
Thank you.
You're a newsman, my friend, and I have to tell you that.
How would you guys recommend that we take these sea lions out if it becomes legal to do so? Is it even legal to kill them right now?
There are limited ways you can do that. I know,
we can't kill them, but the state could kill them.
Right, and we would never want anybody just randomly.
Of course not.
Because you're actually seeing these stories
of seals being
there's
like 3.
Don't want that.
We don't want that.
If you are able. First of all, the tribes have been doing this for time immemorial. That would be wonderful because I know many of them are interested in doing that. But you also have professional hunters, people who know what they're doing.
I've seen Jaws. I know how it works.
Yeah.
You get a quint coming in who's got a background. What you need to find is somebody who has been personally offended by a sea lion in the past. Presumably somebody who was on some sort of a World War II mission where the boat goes down and then a sea lion swarm comes and gets them.
Do we have any scuba gear?
There could be scuba gear involved, but the really important part is a personal vendetta against sea lions. And then that guy comes in, and basically he just makes a bid with the local city. In this case, it would be Washington. Right. He said, I'll take them out for you, but it's going to cost this much. That would be the perfect situation.
Okay. Then you get Mayor Wilson there saying the beach is going to be open.
Yeah.
So really, this is all coming back to a dollars and cents thing to me because we're spending so much money.
Sure.
If you think about the state transportation budget, we have some of the most poorly maintained roads in the country because so much of our state transportation budget is going to this culvert work, and these culverts may not work at all
because there's no fish to go in them.
Fish are going up because of the seals. All right, I'll calm down.
Sea lions. Yeah.
Same family.
Cousins, basically.
Cousins, yes.
Yeah. We all got one of those in our family.
Yes.
We all got a sea lion in our family. We know them.
Do you guys think that the state will actually solve this problem, or they just continue to? Because my suspicion is they're not going to have the fortitude to actually take the sea lions out.
Hang on, because this is actually a bill introduced in Congress. It just had a hearing yesterday.
Okay.
And it was co-sponsored by Michael Baumgartner, the Spokane Republican, and Emily Randall, the Olympic Peninsula Democrat. These are as far apart as you can get on the political spectrum.
And geographically. They just live far apart, probably.
So these are two people who realize something needs to be done. So hold out hope.
All right, I'm holding out hope.
And I like the fact that it's the Bonneville Dam. It's in Eastern Washington. They get stuff done.
Yeah.
They get stuff done. From a practical standpoint, they get stuff done.
They're going to take care of it. People can check the article out right now. They can read about it. They can click on the link. They can share it with friends, and they should. Charlie Harger, thanks for coming in.
Anytime.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear G and Ursula.
When it comes to Dutch Bros, Ursula?
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Every time I go south, I pull up on some Dutch Bros. Yeah. My point is this. Starbucks is going to be moving part of their headquarters over to Tennessee, and there's a lot of people like, oh my goodness, Starbucks is going to be going. Don't you worry. There's other coffee places like, hey, y'all have fun. It's almost like the new stepdaddy. That's what Dutch Bros is about to do.
Subscribe to the G and Ursula Show on YouTube and watch live or later.
Hey, when was the last time you inspected your crawl space or your attic? What's the last time you went in there just to see what kind of shape they're in? Oh, never? Yeah, same. I don't want to go in there. Most homeowners completely avoid those areas, but it is important to check on them regularly. It's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and go where you don't want to. Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And yes, when Crawl Pros came out to my place, they realized we had a little problem with our insulation. So they've set about fixing it, and they did a great job. But if you've got the same problem, they'll also look to see what kind of energy rebates are available. Right now, local utility companies are incentivizing homeowners to make their home more energy efficient with proper insulation. And some homes qualify for several $1,000s in savings with these utility rebate programs. So don't just assume your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today and schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection and find out if you've got water intrusion, mold, rodent issues, or even damaged insulation. Schedule your crawl space and attic inspection at crawlpros.com. weekdays.com.
Our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn, understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Our founders believed that freedom wasn't just a word. It was a way of life. The freedom to move forward, the freedom to pursue what matters most, the freedom to live fully. But aging has a way of taking those freedoms away. That's why there's Longevity Medical Clinic. John Curley here. My best move was becoming a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic years ago, and second best move, getting my wife Nicole to join me this year. Stop guessing and start working with a doctor who knows your goals and get personalized care designed around you, not the average patient. Discover what's holding you back and what can help you thrive with longevity. Aging is natural, but some of the effects are undesirable, and you don't want to have to just accept it. So this year, as we celebrate 250 years of freedom, ask yourself a simple question. Are you living with the freedom you deserve? Get real answers about your health and get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Moving into Aegis was one of the best decisions I ever made because I became connected with lots of friends.
This is my friend Susie, and we haven't known each other very long. We just kind of clicked.
She found this wonderful place, and so that I moved in. One thing we both like, we watch football games. I'm a tight end girl myself.
Aegis Living has been trusted for nearly 30 years to deliver award-winning care in luxury senior living. Visit aegisliving.com/KIRO and see for yourself.
Did you know that 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state? I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide financial support for breast and gynecologic cancer patients in our community. Join us at Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel in Woodinville for an unforgettable afternoon of inspiration. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd at nwhopeandhealing.org. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Jazz Alley invites you to an evening with two-time Grammy-winning saxophonist Kirk Whalum. Soulful, passionate, and stirring. Shows run July 23rd through the 26th. Tickets at jazzalley.com. Next up, Greg Adams and East Bay Soul.
John Curley here. When the AC starts acting up, don't assume you need a whole new system. Home Comfort Alliance, their approach is simple. Repair first, replace only if needed. Their techs diagnose the real problem because a simple fix can often get the cooling back up again and not cost you a full replacement. Need something new? Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. That's what we did at the barn. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com. Call the comfort people. homecomfortalliance.com.
All right, welcome back. back to the show. This is Last Call, where we get to as many of your text messages as we can. It's your opportunity to give us your opinions. It's like a tiny, tiny little op-ed, and we read them at the end of every show. So, Spike, do you want to jump in on these?
You bet I will.
Start it off?
On the hot weather, Troy in the 206 says, I work at a public utilities decant facility? I'm not sure what that means.
I don't know what that means.
And we're laying asphalt right now for a new drive entrance. Oh, the asphalt makes it feel so much hotter when you're right above it. I miss our winter days. Be safe outside if you have to go out.
Yeah, it's hot. On the hospital bed interview with Carl McDaniels. He was that guy he had a little interaction that became pretty viral with a bison at Yellowstone. Joey says, visit Yellowstone to wrestle with the bison. Sounds inviting.
You know,
is he saying like a cat? That's like
yeah.
That could be their catchphrase.
I mean, that's their new travel moniker there. We were talking a little bit about it's the cows launching people is nothing new. We've seen stories of it for year after year after year. And I mentioned they sell shirts that are, people getting launched by Don't Pet the Fluffy Cows. There's a Carl shirt
they already have
market. There's a perfect. Carl shirt on the market now.
That's perfect. That's you. The next one's
on the Calshi block in Washington State. Aubrey from Gig Harbor says, till the suit is settled, you can go on Calshi and bet whether or not Calshi or Washington will prevail. You can bet on the suit.
That's a predictive market
that
you can buy an option on. Dave says, actually, we do have online gambling in Washington State, but it's only for the tribal casinos.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can online gamble if you're on casino property?
I believe that's the case, yes.
I don't know about that. I thought it was illegal everywhere.
I know you can
gamble.
Sports bets there, but I think on the property, the perimeters of the property, it's a safe haven to do online gambling as well.
Really?
I'll double check that, but I think that's the case.
That would be surprising to me.
On Spike's memories from New Orleans before Hurricane Katrina, Bernie and Squim says, Spike, I also was in New Orleans about a month before Katrina. I bought a Blues Brothers tie at a gift shop at Mardi Gras World, the series of warehouses right next to the dike, where they stored all the floats, a treasured piece of memory. My favorite tie, of course, all gone.
On Seattle after the World Cup, Jesse B says, we need a Jimothy-themed city cleanup movement, homeless, drug, crimes, trash.
Oh, yeah, for Jimothy.
Anything for Jimothy. People will do it. Absolutely.
Jamestown on Eastlake says, they need to budget. They need to understand that it doesn't matter that you think you have an influx of population. You have a population. You have a budget. If you are not using the budget properly, you need to audit yourself. If you cannot audit yourself, the city will by leaving.
Let's see here. Fernando in Seattle said, he's responding to me. He says, I love you too. And I hate taxes, especially the new income tax. Thank you, Fernando. But every time you ask for more services, I just think unfunded mandates that the GOP used to hate. Every time you ask for more services, I think unfunded mandates that the GOP used to hate. I still hate unfunded mandates. But we fund police already. We fund roads. We fund all these things. They're just now telling us that they're out of money. So, Fernando, we love each other. We agree that we hate taxes, and they should already be doing these things that we're paying for.
Yeah. Speaking of loving each other, on Jelly Roll and Bunny XO having a baby despite getting divorced, Braden in Snohomish says wrong, not fair to the child at all, horrible example to set, and not at all easy to do. A good job as a parent when you're separated. It's not easy to do a good job as a parent when you're separated. It's hard enough when you're married.
This is on the missing pig. Alec in Pierce County says, has she asked
Garen
to keep an eye out? He's the garbage guy out there.
The garbage guy, he would know.
That's a smart idea. You talk to the garbage man, they get like a front row seat to everything.
They do see everybody.
Nobody suspects them of watching.
You're right.
Because you're there picking up the trash.
John in the 573 says, I hate that I'm even thinking that probably shouldn't be read on the radio, but the price of food, there may be real sad reason that the pig is missing.
And very quickly, we have to play 10 seconds of your Twisted tune. This is something we're not going to even have time to do it, but this is a little bit of your tune. Oh, and my computer's not on, and we're out of time. I'm so sorry. We'll play it tomorrow. I bungled that.
Okay.
John Curley's coming up next. Thank you guys for hanging with us. We will play this tomorrow. We'll have an update for you then. Bye-bye.
Back on February 8th, the countdown started at 167 days.
3, 2, 1.
Right after the clock showed zeros.
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
The champs are back on the field in just 3 days when Seahawks training camp begins.
We know that we're target number 1 now.
The home of the Super Bowl champs, KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk, Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and Elder Law attorney Rajiv Nagayach.
And then he said, you're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps. Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way August 1st, Puyallup on the 4th, Tacoma on the 6th, or Bellevue August 8th. Space is limited, so sign up today at LifePointLaw.com. That's LifePointLaw.com.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And... customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
All right, I'm so excited to be talking with Phil Mitchell. He's a new advertiser to the show. He owns Sunset Auto Family. Phil, welcome.
Thanks, Jake.
You guys offer something that I think is so valuable. We have so many listeners in our audience who are business owners and a lot of people who are driving commercial vehicles. You guys are basically like a perfect silent partner because you offer repairs for life on these commercial vehicles. Tell me about that.
Well, basically, repairs for life means any vehicle that we repair for over $250, we're going to cover that repair for as long as you own the vehicle. So if you got a commercial fleet and you put a transmission in your 250,000-mile truck, we're going to cover that for life.
And you think about the value added there for a small business owner who is trying to stretch every single mile out of these vehicles.
You don't even have to buy the vehicle from us to get the repairs for life. Basically, we want to service your entire fleet. So if you bought your fleet from somewhere else, let us service it. We'll give you repairs for life. We're going to save you thousands.
Love it. Only at Sunset Ford and Sunset Chevrolet in Sumner. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
Our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn, understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't